It's Tuesday, April 14th. Today, Prime Minister Mark Carney's Liberals cement a majority government. The by-election wins and what it means for the country. Also today, a community on edge. We'll show you how Pegos First Nation is preparing for another potential flood. Plus, Mozart and the Recycled Jammers, how a rescue dog inspired a Manitoba senior to go back on stage with his band. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday to you. Catherine Dow is joining us for Terry this morning, and we have a lot in the next 3 hours for you, including Ainsley, who's hanging out at the Manitoba Crafts Museum.
Cool.
We're going to see some beautiful pieces. Yes.
Sorry, I just got excited.
I know,
I was
it's
like,
so fun to go there. So we're going to showcase some artists as well as some unique pieces and tell you a little bit more about the organization itself and why it's really vital in our community. But let's talk about the weather. I went for a walk last night. The sun was bright. A little bit of a breeze, though, but still that sun was nice and warm.
Sure was. And the good news is we've got more sunshine coming our way and some temperatures. I was going to say above seasonal, but it's more typical for April. But we're going to feel like we are soaring into the 30s because we've been quite shortchanged from Mother Nature with those daytime highs. Currently, though, we're above freezing at 2 degrees. It is overcast. The winds are out of the east-southeast, excuse me. The pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 75%. So as much as I'm very excited about what we've got going on here in southern Manitoba, to the north, it's not so rosy news. A developing low pressure system that's starting to push in from Alberta is likely to bring a good amount of snowfall to the area. So that could be 5 to 10 centimeters worth starting in the very northerly parts and then coming down a little further south. Not reaching us, but still a bit of a snowy day. Our futurecast will give us a better sense of how it goes. So this is the system I'm talking about, the approaching low pressure system. But a separate system altogether, as you can see, is going to be hovering over very southerly portions, likely bringing some rainfall, maybe some snow mixed in, but because it's going to be a little bit warmer, likely it'll be liquid. As the day progresses there, it tracks through about 5 to 10 centimeters worth is possible. You can see the bottom half of that is showing up more as rain, as that temperature value will be higher in that region, causing the rain. While we will mostly deal with lots of sunshine here in the south as we say goodbye to that rainfall, a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon more specifically. Into tonight, a couple clouds, but then the second shot here, another developing system likely to bring a second shot of snowfall and potential for us to receive a little bit of that precipitation as well here in Winnipeg. Our temperatures are really going to be all over the place. 10 degrees today, up to 18 tomorrow, and then really taking a crash landing to 0 on Thursday, and that's when we're likely to get some mixed precipitation.
Thank you, Catherine. Prime Minister Mark Carney now has his majority government. The Liberals now have 174 seats in the House of Commons after winning 3 by-elections last night. CTV's Mike Le Couture has more on the results and what it means for the country.
The first results came in the riding of University Rosedale. Danielle Martin's victory giving the Liberals 1 more seat and securing Mark Carney's majority government.
As of tonight, Mark Carney and our entire incredible Liberal team have earned an even more powerful mandate to continue building a better Canada.
A little further east, the Liberals chalked up another win as the former deputy leader of the Ontario NDP delivered the riding of Scarborough Southwest.
My friends, we found a way to come together. Not because we agreed on everything, but because we recognize the common vision of Canada that we all share.
Now, the Liberals were able to turn last year's minority government into a majority, thanks in part to 5 floor crossers in as many months. The latest was an opposition MP who held social conservative values.
I think the Liberal tent is stretched so far now that the fabric must be, I don't know, is it spandex? It is something very stretchy when you can encompass Marilyn Gladue in a caucus with progressives in the Liberal Party.
The third by-election was forced in Terrebonne, Quebec, after the Supreme Court invalidated a Liberal win, which was by 1 vote.
And people really knew the importance of voting this time, so they were enthusiastic, and we were confident that they would indeed go out and vote.
ballot question was who can provide stability in a world of instability and a much more chaotic and divided world. And we know that the answer to that is Prime Minister Carney.
Now that he has his majority, the Prime Minister isn't wasting any time. Tuesday, Mark Carney is expected to announce new affordability measures as his government has been facing pressure to address high gas prices. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
The City of Winnipeg is showing a better than expected year-end financial report. The operating budget, or general revenue fund, closed 2025 with a $14.3 million deficit. That was partly due to heavy snowfall and an unexpected $7 million legal settlement. The city notes despite pressures, it achieved its $51.8 million savings target. Of note, water and sewer operations had a $67 million positive variance due to improved billing and increased summer water consumption, while transit's revenue was $4 million higher than budgeted. The report will be reviewed by the Finance Committee on Friday. First Nations groups and community leaders are gathering in Winnipeg this week to share ideas and learn from real-world examples of how to shore up the energy grid. The First Nation-led Energy Readiness Forum is bringing together leadership, energy advocates, and technical experts to explore the importance of energy sovereignty and how to move projects from the drawing board into reality. It could include how to secure funding, the potential of solar and wind energy, and jobs training.
A lot of our communities suffer power outages almost annually, and numbers vary from community to community, from geographic locations. So we're looking at, how do we empower our communities to start thinking outside the box, working with the right folks, whether it's government or hydro or whoever, to look at solutions, community-driven solutions.
Coordinator Greg McIver says energy security is the first step towards other avenues which would benefit remote communities, such as developing greenhouses. The conference continues today. It's being hosted by Barons River First Nation. A section of a highway in southern New Brunswick remains closed today following a major fuel spill.
We're well on our way in regards to cleaning the immediate impacted areas. So all the mitigations are in place to avoid anything getting worse or going further.
This footage obtained by CTV News shows the rollover happening on Highway 1 last Wednesday. Around 36,000 liters of fuel was spilled. The cleanup is still happening. New Brunswick's Deputy Environment Minister says it's too early to tell if charges will be laid or when the cleanup will be finished. Crews are also testing wells at nearby homes in the area to see if they have been impacted by the spill. The gap between Canada's richest and poorest is growing even larger. The income gap measures the difference in the share of disposable income between households in the top 40% and those in the bottom 40%. And according to Stats Canada, it reached 46.7 percentage points in 2025. The agency says the lowest income households saw wages rise slower than the overall average, and their investment incomes fell because of lower interest payments on savings. A new study offers another way to ease depression symptoms: exercise. For some people, depression is a lingering issue, but new evidence suggests workouts of any kind, any intensity, and any length can help lift your spirits. In fact, exercise was as effective as medication or talk therapy at reducing symptoms of depression, including fatigue, trouble concentrating, and sleep issues. Strength training workouts appear to have the strongest benefits, but cardio work too. Though it can be hard to get moving at the start, finding a workout buddy or a group class can make the first step, or bicep curl, a lot easier. The FIFA World Cup kicks off in just under 2 months, and while Winnipeg isn't one of the host cities, we're still getting the chance to share in the festivities.
3, 2, 1.
Soccer fans got to see the FIFA World Cup's original trophy Monday as a multi-city tour made a stop in Memorial Park. The event included appearances by the FIFA World Cup 2026 mascots, live entertainment, games, and a Coca-Cola sampling station. Officials say the tour is about bringing the World Cup to Canada.
Bringing it to all corners of our country, wrapping the World Cup and the Canadian flag, our diversity, our vast geography, but also understanding that what it means to every individual in this country. And
Winnipeg is one of 7 Canadian cities across 75 stops on the trophy tour. The FIFA World Cup takes place June 11th to July 19th. with games in 16 cities across Canada, Mexico, and the United States. Here's a look at what's happening now on Kenaston Boulevard. It looks like things are moving quite well and starting off really nicely in this part of the city. If you see any issues out there, please send us a text. Let's go now to Ainsley, who's with the Manitoba Crafts Museum this morning. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, Rochelle. Good morning. Pardon my voice. I woke up and I was like, where'd you go?
Oh, no.
I'm feeling pretty decent, though. Intentionally Indigenous is what it's called. 7 different nations represented by these Molly dolls. Come, have a look. It's a partnership, actually, between the Manitoba Crafts Museum and the Manitoba Indigenous Cultural Education Center. Now, that's a mouthful for a day that you don't have your voice. It's running until the 23rd. And as I mentioned, 7 different Indigenous nations. It really reimagines this Molly doll to reflect culture, tradition, and our community. So stay with us while we take a look at some older dolls and, of course, the contemporary ones that you saw, which such beautiful details.
Yeah, those dolls are so sweet. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now with our Catherine Dow. How's it feeling out there, Catherine?
You know, pretty good, Rochelle. I gotta say, it's been a while that I can remember of waking up and feeling like there's not that bite. We've definitely taken a little bit of a turn with our temperatures. However, it is likely to be a little bit short-lived. Sorry to report, but let's enjoy the here and now. It's 2 degrees out here, fairly overcast, very light winds. Pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 76%. So much of the south will be dealing with increasing cloudiness throughout the day, clear skies, and then a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. However, there is a slight chance of some rainfall for us here in Winnipeg in the morning, but a very strong chance of rainfall in areas further to the south of us. So I'm talking about Steinbach, Morden, and Winkler. However, our temperatures finally at seasonal values. 10 degrees is what we're looking at here in Winnipeg. Very similar highs expected throughout the rest of the south. Totally different story to the north. A developing low pressure system that's coming in from the west, likely to spread a good dumping of snowfall for you, starting in the very northerly areas with about 5 to 10 centimeters worth expected today, and then starting to drift into the northwest. Areas in and around the Paw could get about 10 to 15 centimeters into tomorrow. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. However, we too will have some snowfall a little later on in the week. Not as hefty by any means. We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. More to Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. A huge effort is underway to protect Peguis First Nation from flooding. The community is in an area the province has identified as high risk. The First Nation experienced catastrophic flooding just a couple of years ago. But as CTV's John Hendricks shows you, volunteers are determined to prevent that from happening this time.
Pull that out. On Peguis First Nation, a team of volunteers is preparing to use water to fight water. This tiger dam is being set up to protect Alan Spence's home from potential flooding. Spence has lived in this house by the nearby river for more than 60 years and says he's seen his fair share of floods.
Last time if it came up that much more, it would be on top of the floor.
Peguis is determined to prevent that from happening this spring at Spence's home or any other on the First Nation. So the community is coming together to help out. But it is a huge task. 225 homes have been identified as needing protection.
We're all come together as a community, as we are, and we're helping save the people that do flood bad.
They aren't in this battle alone. Roughly 30 volunteers from Team Rubicon have arrived to help out, and another 17 are on the way. The humanitarian organization is comprised of ex-military, retired first responders, and civilians, and they deploy to natural disasters like floods.
This is actually our first deployment, and probably one of our largest single-wave deployments in the history of Team Rubicon Canada.
A large deployment for a large risk. The province is warning peak flows could possibly reach 2022 levels, a year that saw many Peguis residents forced from their homes. Chief Stan Bird fears that could very easily happen again in the coming days.
That's highly likely simply because a majority of our roads will be cut off. We won't have access to things like clean drinking water, food.
which is why it's critical that efforts to protect homes like Alan Spence's are successful. For his part, Spence has no doubt the community will succeed.
The community wants to get together. It's amazing what they can do.
John Hendricks, CTV News, Peguis First Nation.
Chief Bird believes a more permanent solution to the chronic flooding is necessary. He's spoken with government officials and hopes that as early as this summer, work can get underway. A driver who crashed into a marina near London, Ontario, was rescued by two men who heard his cries for help.
The car was gone in seconds, 3, 4, 5 seconds. It was gone underwater. So just glad it all worked out.
Nick Schuffelberger and Zachary Zell were working on a deck when they heard yelling coming from the marina. They arrived to find an SUV in the water, and the driver's foot was stuck under the gas pedal. That's when Nick managed to slide through the window and pull the driver out. The driver is a man in his 70s. Amazingly, he wasn't hurt. He didn't want to be in the story, but he did say he is grateful to Nick and Zachary for their help. The province is introducing a new workplace safety regulation for large construction sites next year. Hot water for hand washing will be required. Industrial, commercial, and institutional projects that have more than 25 workers, exceed 600 square meters, or are more than 3 stories high, will be required to provide hot water throughout the entire construction process. The Manitoba government says the move aims to improve hygiene and working conditions on job sites. The new requirement goes into effect on April 1st next year. A Manitoba senior is singing a new tune thanks to a special friendship, and he's helping make sure others can do the same. 90-year-old Walter Dyshun is back on stage with his band Recycled Jammers, a group ranging in age from 61 to 90, and it's all thanks to his 12-year-old rescue dog Mozart, who Walter adopted through Before the Bridge Senior Canine Rescue last December. Besides the instant bond between the pair, Walter discovered he and Mozart share a love of music.
He enjoys it. He lays down anywhere and listens to the music and has a good time.
Mozart joins the band during its Thursday night jams and will be on hand when Walter and the Recycled Jammers host a fundraiser in support of Before the Bridge next month. Raise the Woof is set for May 2nd at Transcona Memorial Church. Money raised will benefit the senior dogs taken in and rehabilitated by the rescue. The oldest gorilla in the world just turned 69. The Berlin Zoo celebrated the milestone by setting out a fruit basket for Lady Fatou. She's known as the Great Dame of the zoo and was certified last year by Guinness as the oldest living gorilla. She was born somewhere in West Africa and arrived in Europe in 1959 in the luggage of a French sailor. According to the Berlin Zoo, the sailor was unable to pay his bill at a tavern and gave Fatou to the landlord as payment. From there, she ended up in the German capital. Zoo staff say turning 69 is incredible, noting that in the wild western lowland, gorillas don't live past their 40s. So even in captivity, 50 is considered advanced old age.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound curb lane on Gary Street will be closed between Ellis and Portage, with trucks prohibited to do right turns. Following the rush, the westbound curb and middle lanes on Portage will be closed from Gary to Smith Street, and the northbound median lane on Hargrave Street will be closed from Graham to Portage. If you see any traffic issues out there, please give us a heads up by sending us a text at 10400.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Casting our eye to the sky, a little bit cloudy to kick off this Tuesday. It's 2 degrees out there with some very light easterly winds. Barometric pressure is falling. Humidity at 76% this hour. We've got some lovely temperatures to look forward to here in southern Manitoba. Bit of a different story to the north. We'll get to that in a moment. Much of southern Manitoba hovering at or slightly below in the case of Dauphin, or above freezing in the case of us here in Winnipeg at 2 degrees, while Morden and Winkler at 0. Same goes for you folks in the Wheat City at 0 degrees. To the north, apologies. Looks like Island Lake is offline. I'll take a check in on that at the break. However, as you can see, these very northerly parts feeling the chill this morning to the tune of minus 27 degrees in Churchill. And with that wind chill, it's feeling closer to minus 38 degrees this morning. As you can see, not much of a factor for us. In fact, I should take this map offline, although that might be jinxing us with the way this spring has been going. You'll see a little bit of activity on our future cast, on our radar, excuse me. Little sprinklings there of rainfall. That's because because much of southern Manitoba is likely to get some rainfall today. A sure shot, about 60%, I should say, in Steinbach, Morton, and Winkler, while we here in Winnipeg and areas to the southwest have more of a 30% shot. Not picking up on our radar, but a good portion of the north has a chance of some flurry activity today, a good amount, about 5 to 10 centimeters worth from a low pressure system. For us here, I mentioned that slight chance of some rainfall, maybe more like sleet. That comes in those early morning hours as the kids head to school at 2 degrees. It'll clear off nicely at lunch, heading home to 9 degrees, getting a little bit warmer for our high at 10. We shoot up tomorrow to a high of 18 degrees and taking a plunge into Thursday. Your Skywatch picture of the day, a snowy visitor to Dominion City. Thanks to Josh for snapping that pic, and keep yours coming to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Good morning. An annual spring event had people out in the streets in Bonn, Germany. Hundreds of salsa dancers were dancing underneath the city's cherry blossoms for an annual event. It's a staple of the city's cherry blossom season, and it sees dancers moving all throughout the city. Bonn's Old Town turns into a pink wonderland every spring, with some areas basically becoming floral tunnels because of how close the trees are to one another. It's gorgeous. There are reports that U.S. tech company Waymo is working to bring its self-driving taxis to Toronto streets. But would the city be on board? Here's CTV's Rahim Ledhani.
In a city filled with traditional taxis and ride-sharing, Toronto roads could soon be driven by a new mode of transportation: self-driving vehicles.
I don't think I would feel very comfortable with that, just because if there's like a technical error or something.
I think they're cost efficient. They have it in San Francisco and I tried it out and it's pretty good.
Not a fan of robotics taking people's jobs in general, or AI, or like any of that stuff. But also it feels somewhat inevitable.
Waymo is a fully autonomous ride-hailing service with no human driver in the front seat. The California-based tech company already operates in 11 U.S. cities and is looking to expand in other major cities, including London, Tokyo, and possibly Toronto.
The big advantage that self-driving cars have over human drivers is that they can see in all directions at all the time and never get tired or bored.
Mayor Olivia Chow's office says the company, which is owned by Google's parent company Alphabet, told them it plans to apply for a provincial pilot program to conduct tests. In a statement, a spokesperson for Chow says the mayor's priority is protecting jobs in Toronto. Any move toward autonomous vehicles must not put people out of work or undermine workers' livelihoods. The mayor will not support Waymo if it costs jobs, drives down wages for other workers, or contributed to precarious work in our city. Waymo must demonstrate this will not happen.
There's a concern that if you have all these autonomous vehicles floating around where you're trying to make money on them and they don't actually have passengers in them, do they just circle? Because doesn't that just add to the traffic problems we already experience?
This wouldn't be the first time a self-driving vehicle pilot project would meet Toronto traffic. Last summer, Magna International was accepted into Ontario's automated vehicle pilot program. The city was against it, and the test drive ended just a few months later. In 2021, self-driving shuttle buses were launched, but canceled the same year after a collision and the supplier shut down.
Would you sue the manufacturer of the AI that is in the car? And that is an open question.
Waymo's website says its vehicles undergo rigorous safety checks. Under the provincial pilot, collisions must be reported within 10 days and have enough insurance to operate in Ontario. Waymo have not responded to requests from CTV News about bringing these vehicles to Toronto. Rahim Ladani, CTV News.
On a mild note at 2 degrees out there in Winnipeg. Pretty overcast. Winds a non-factor, very light out of the east. Barometric pressure is falling. Humidity sitting at 76%. Yes, we are on the up and up in terms of our temperatures here in southern Manitoba. Different story to the north. I'll have details on that in a moment. However, you can see there is some activity here on our Skywatch radar. This little system kind of peeking over the international border, bringing a good chance of some rainfall to areas like Steinbach, Morton, and Winkler, Pinawa. We here in Winnipeg Winnipeg likely to stay dry, about a 30% shot of some showers for us. But for the most part, sunny with a couple clouds building into the afternoon. High of 10 degrees. This is going to feel like Jamaica because we haven't been hitting seasonal highs. This is typical for April, but I, for one, have been missing this. So that's likely what we're going to get up to today. And those winds not ramping up too much, but out of the southwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Overnight, we lose that chance of rainfall. Temperatures not moving around too much to 3 degrees. Winds getting stronger out of the south at 20 kilometers per hour with some increase in cloudiness as the night progresses. Into tomorrow, not a typo, 18 degrees tomorrow and some very strong southerly winds accompanying that at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Once again, though, slight chance of some showers and a little bit more in the way of cloud coverage than we're going to see today. But we're kind of dealing with a pendulum swing with our temperatures. By Thursday, we're crashing down to freezing, a good chance of some flurry activity. And then into Friday, we're dipping below freezing and we get some likely more snowfall. Very light trace amounts, but snowfall nonetheless. The sunshine's returning into the weekend, but the heat is not.
Thank you, Catherine. Staggering new stats show the homeless crisis in Winnipeg is worsening. End Homelessness Winnipeg says food and housing costs are pushing people to the brink. And the number of people who need housing is outpacing the number of affordable units available. CTV's Jeff Keel reports.
Stacey Biggity knows what it's like to be homeless.
Oh, heck yeah. There was a time, definitely. You know what I mean? It was hard. Nobody wanted you nowhere. Nobody trusted you.
Clean and sober for 7 years, she found a place to call home, but some of her friends aren't as lucky.
I see them a lot, you know what I mean? It hurts, it's hard. It's hard to see them like that.
Biggity says the problem is only getting worse, and new data from End Homelessness Winnipeg shows just how much.
Really a wake-up call for all of us.
The organization says more than 8,200 people have no stable housing in Winnipeg. Of those, more than 4,400 are chronically homeless, a jump of 104 in March alone. The overall number represents those staying in shelters, moving between temporary locations, or living on the streets.
And that is a trend that we need to stop. And we're only going to be able to stop it if we collectively work together.
The nonprofit says the number of people becoming homeless is outpacing the availability of deeply affordable housing with wraparound supports.
Costs are getting higher, and income is just not keeping pace with the cost of housing, and that is pushing more and more people to the edges of homelessness.
The province says more than 1,600 social or affordable housing units have been built, are under construction or being planned, and 214 people have been moved from encampments into housing as part of the Your Way Home strategy.
These are folks that were, didn't have dignified, safe, affordable housing that are now receiving wraparound supports.
Stacey Biggity hopes more housing is coming because the numbers are even a shock to her.
It's crazy. It shouldn't be that high. It's sad. It shouldn't be that way for people.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The mayor's office says over the past 4 years, the city has approved new housing and helped fund more than 2,600 affordable and rent geared to income units. With the U.S. now blocking Iranian ports, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance says the ball is in Iran's court. He says Tehran has to be flexible when it comes to Washington's demands. Vance is accusing the Iranian government of engaging in an act of economic terrorism by blocking traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. He then said the U.S. was abiding by the same principles by blocking Iranian ships from getting out. The U.S. military imposed the blockade on Iranian ports yesterday after peace talks with Iran broke down. The U.S. Central Command says it will block all vessels entering or leaving Iranian ports, but will not impede ships in the Strait of Hormuz traveling to and from non-Iranian ports. The New York Times is reporting Iran proposed suspending its nuclear activity for up to 5 years, something the U.S. rejected, insisting on 20 years. Pakistan is now proposing a second round of talks be held between the U.S. and Iran before the end of the ceasefire. Meanwhile, talks between Lebanese and Israeli ambassadors to the U.S. are expected to take place in Washington later today. Lebanon's president is hoping the meeting will result in a ceasefire, even after the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah called on Beirut to reject the talks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is expected to join the talks. It will be the first time in decades that officials from the two countries have met face-to-face for direct negotiations. According to Lebanon's health ministry, at least 2,000 people have been killed and more than 1 million people have been displaced. Hundreds of students from across Ontario faced off over the weekend in a massive robotics competition.
Get back, you have 5 minutes to fix it before you go back out. So, it's working under stress, working as a team, and a lot of the time, being a leader and being able to guide the people around you to work at the fastest pace they can.
35 teams were at the Windsor-Essex Great Lakes first robotics competition. This year, the goal for each team was for them to get their robot to put a ball in a net. Robots were also tested on their ability to climb for extra points. The top performers are also moving on to a competition in Niagara Falls next weekend. The Youth Singers of Calgary are celebrating 40 years of music. On Saturday, the Singers hosted their Hearts Out fundraising gala. Since coming together in 1985, the group has performed at the 1988 Winter Olympics and toured Europe and Asia. The Youth Singers started out with 27 members and now has more than 500 performers. As part of its 40th anniversary celebration, the group will be taking their act to Peru this year. It's official, a Winnipeg trampoline park is now a Guinness World Record holder.
I can confirm this is a new record title.
A representative for Guinness has confirmed Apex Adventure Plex Winnipeg is home to the world's longest permanent publicly accessible trampoline. The record is a first of its kind, measuring in at 192 feet, 3.5 inches long by 8 feet 3 inches wide. For reference, that's longer than 11 Golden Boys laid out from foot to torch tip. The facility celebrated its grand opening last week. You could check it out for yourself at 1150 Nairn Avenue. Congrats to them. Here's a look at what's happening now at Confusion Corner. Things are slowly picking up in this part of the city, as you can see. Overall, though, pretty smooth drive so far. Here's a look at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is lower at $1.73, and the lowest price in the city is $1.57 on Isabel Street and Salter Street. All this information is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, we're live at the Manitoba Crafts Museum. We're going to hear a little bit more about these beautiful dolls and what they represent. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
It's been a while since I've been up here and not wearing the heavy parka, because finally we're starting to see temperatures more in line with what's typical for April. It's 2 degrees out here, a couple clouds lingering, winds very light out of the east, pressure is falling, humidity sits at 76%. So before I speak about our mild conditions, I'm going to start in the north, where they're dealing with quite the different day ahead. So an approaching and brewing low pressure system that's moving in from the west, likely to bring a good amount of snowfall to very northeasterly parts of the province first today. About 5 to 10 centimeters worth of snow expected in and around Thompson. And then overnight, that'll kind of fan out and move a little further to the south, encompassing much of the north. So another couple centimeters expected overnight. And then a good amount into the northwest, in and around the Paw, about 10 to 15 centimeters worth expected tomorrow. I'm so sorry. Don't shoot the messenger. Temperatures there, decent, with the exception of Churchill, which is quite frigid. In fact, wind chill values are feeling about minus 35 this morning. However, for us here in the south, much of the area will be dealing with lots of sunshine. However, a slight chance for some rainfall for us here in Winnipeg. A stronger chance of that happening in areas to the south. So grab those umbrellas if you're in Steinbach, Borden, and Winkler, because it's likely to be a soggy day. We're heading on over to Ainsley McPhail, who's getting a little crafty this morning. Ainsley.
Good morning, and this is a really neat collaboration, Catherine. Andrea Reichert joins us now. Tell us a little bit about Intentionally Indigenous.
It's an exhibit of dolls. There's 2 components. One is a contemporary component that includes work by 7 different artists from 7 different Indigenous nations in Manitoba, and the rest are dolls from both our collection at the Manitoba Crafts Museum and Library, but also some from the Manitoba Indigenous Cultural and Education Centre, which is our partner for this exhibit.
I love seeing how they've all been styled. And that was the intention, right? Just so different, giving representation to the various nations.
That's right. The core of the exhibit is these dolls that were initially made to be toy dolls, but then there's 7 nations in Manitoba, and they were all styled with the outfits and earrings, and they look wonderful from the 7 different nations in Manitoba.
People only have like a week and a half to see this, but what was your reaction at first
to the dolls? You know what? I'm not a real doll person, but I really love these dolls. I think they're amazing. I think they really represent so many different elements of Indigenous culture in Manitoba, and it's been fabulous working with our partners at the Manitoba Indigenous Culture and Education Centre. Really, it's their exhibit, and we're hosting it, so it's really been fabulous working with them.
Before we're out of time, is there anything else you want people to know? There's still more to see, too. We can't always get to all of it.
I just hope that you have a chance to come and see it in person, because it's really wonderful. Yeah, there is just about a week and a bit left, so come down and see it.
Thank you so much. It's called Intentionally Indigenous. Stay with us throughout the morning as we learn about the logistics of getting all of these dolls to Winnipeg.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is slightly lower. The Nasdaq added 90 points. The S&P index is flat. The Canadian dollar had some gains, set to 72.67 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng gained 211 points, and the Nikkei is 1,374 points higher. Good morning. It is 6:46. 2 men are facing charges after First Nations safety officers say the men were found with jerry cans full of liquor in a dry community. It happened shortly after midnight last Tuesday near Bonnie Bonnie B Cree Nation. According to RCMP, the pair didn't make it very far after being spotted by safety officers when their snowmobiles broke down. The suspects, aged 46 and 22, were detained and allegedly in possession of cash and a small amount of what is believed to be cocaine, in addition to the buckets of booze. They're charged with possession of a controlled substance and possession of property obtained by crime, in addition to offenses under the Liquor, Gaming, and Cannabis Control Act. The Winnipeg Police Service came in $1.7 million under budget to close out 2025, despite expenses exceeding what was budgeted for. The force's fourth quarter report credits on a number of factors, including overtime savings, lower than expected fuel costs, and increased special duty revenue. On top of that, there were far fewer homicides than in past years, meaning less money spent on investigations. And the police service received significant funding from the province in response to the influx of wildfire evacuees last summer. All that helped offset what would have been a $14.5 million budget shortfall. The report will be presented at Friday's Finance Committee meeting. First Nations groups and community leaders are gathering in Winnipeg this week to share ideas and learn from real-world examples of how to shore up the energy grid. The First Nation-led Energy Readiness Forum is bringing together leadership, energy advocates, and technical experts to explore the importance of energy sovereignty and how to move projects from the drawing board into reality. It could include how to secure funding, the potential of solar and wind energy, and jobs training.
A lot of our communities suffer power outages almost annually. You know, and numbers vary from community to community, from geographic locations. You know, so we're looking at, how do we empower our communities to start thinking outside the box, working with the right folks, whether it's government or hydro or whoever, to look at solutions, community-driven solutions.
Coordinator Greg McIver says energy security is the first step towards other avenues which would benefit remote communities, such as developing greenhouses. The conference continues today. It's being hosted by Barons River First Nation. You might want to check out this unique spa experience if you're planning to travel to the UK anytime soon.
Just such a brilliant place to come, obviously, really beautiful setting. I've been in a sauna before, but I've never done an ice bath, so obviously the combination of the sauna and the ice bath was something just a little bit novel.
So this is a spa floating on a pod on the Thames, and it includes both hot and cold experiences. Work-related stress hit a record high last year in the UK, so saunas and cold plunges are becoming more popular. But maybe not as popular as they are in Finland, where there's roughly 1 sauna for every 2 people in the country. There won't be any whiteouts in Winnipeg this spring. The Jets' playoff hopes have ended. They were in Las Vegas Monday night to face the Golden Knights. It was all Vegas in this one. The Golden Knights built up a 3-0 lead, which held until the 17:30 mark of the third period. That's when the Jets on the power play get on the board with this goal from Gabe Vilardi. He jams this one in from close range, and it's 3-1 Vegas. And then about 2 minutes later, after Vegas added another goal, the Jets score again. This time, Mark Scheifele gets the goal, that marker by Mark, and an assist he notched as well. Gives Scheifele 101 points, good for a Jets franchise single-season scoring record. But that would be all the scoring Winnipeg would do on this night. Vegas gets a couple more for a final score of 6-2. The Jets are eliminated from the playoffs after Anaheim and LA clinched final spots in the Western Conference. The Jets visit Utah this evening. Puck drop is at 8 p.m. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound curb lane on Gary Street will be closed between Ellis and Portage, with trucks prohibited to do right turns. Following the rush, the westbound curb and middle lanes on Portage will be closed from Gary to Smith Street, and the northbound median lane on Hargrave Street will be closed from Graham to Portage. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text.
Casting our eye to not the sky, the intersection there. It's looking to be a mild start to the day. 2 degrees, a couple clouds, winds are light. Barometric pressure is falling. Humidity is at 76%. Struggling with my words here. We're going to start off by talking about what's going on for us here in southern Manitoba before making our way up north. That's because 2 separate systems are going to be causing some very different conditions for us out there. You can see that first one there on the sky cast kind of enveloping the south, bringing a good chance of some rainfall for southern Manitoba. We too have a slight chance. However, to the north, it's looking more like flurry activities. That's because an approaching low pressure system coming in from the west is starting off in northerly areas and then starting to push down. So a good amount of snowfall, about 5 to 10 centimeters worth, could be coming to Thompson, Gillam, Island Lake, likely showing up more as rainfall, Temperatures cooler in Thompson at -3, definitely cooler in Gillam at -10. Churchill sunshine, but a frosty day ahead at -15. To the southwest, that system will be impacting you first as rainfall. I'm going to move out of the way so you could see me, as your temperatures are a little bit warmer. 4 degrees in Opaskwayak Nation and the Paw, 5 in Flin Flon, cooler inland lake at -8, where it will likely be flurries. The southwest, likely a mix of sun and cloud for areas in Swan River and Dauphin, maybe a little bit more cloud coverage into the afternoon from Brandon and Neepawa. Highs finally at seasonal in the low teens, with the exception of Swan River, with a high of 9 degrees. For us here, likely clear skies to kick us off, clouds into the afternoon. However, areas to the south of us in Winnipeg, as you can see on your screen, a good chance, about a 60% shot of some rainfall. Highs there at around seasonal, which is music to my ears. And then to the northwest Ontario, likely a mix of rainfall and flurry mix. Say mix one more time. 7 degrees in Kenora and Red Lake, 6 in Dryden. Overnight tonight, we'll see temperatures dipping down to 3 degrees, couple clouds, and then as you can see, rebounding with our temperatures even higher, a high of 18 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud.
Catherine, let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday to you all.
Happy Tuesday.
We stumbled upon this topic yesterday on the radio, and so it's clearly an issue. Now, I happen to love it. I think we all love it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an issue, and it is most prevalent in Winnipeg and Manitoba. In fact, we would be the world leaders in doing this.
Okay.
And Rochelle, you won't even notice it maybe at this point because it's been so ingrained.
Okay.
But we have the number one, the most people on the planet who, let's say you run into someone, Rochelle, you're at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen that person in a while. And all they say to you is, "Oh, so?" And then you're expected to take the conversation from there.
I hear a bit of a chuckle. I feel like this has happened to you before, Rochelle.
Well, always, if you live here.
Right? Now, Chrissy has tried, and this is very brazen, but she's tried. So let's say I come up to her. I haven't seen her for a while. Let's say I grew up just outside of Arborg, right? She tries. It's a very brave. Okay, so I run into her, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so?
So?
She sews them back.
You sew them right back. They got
So
nowhere to go.
We got some sort of sew-off going on.
Conversation over.
Now, Chrissy believes that it originates from us dropping the second part.
That's
so it
right.
always started with sew,
Yeah.
but it used to include...
You finish that shed? How much water you get this year?
Right.
How's the baby, right?
Yeah.
They just dropped all of
We
that.
just dropped all the follow-up.
And
And
the
we just...
The so just encompasses it all. So?
So?
Oh, I love that.
It's the unofficial Manitoba greeting.
Now everybody's going to say it today. All right. Well, thanks, you guys. We'll see you on Friday. A man with a love of art whose life needed a fresh coat of paint was able to turn things around thanks to his dad and his passion. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has the story.
Sam Siegel never would have imagined how transformational art could be when he began drawing as a boy.
And there's nothing more exciting than having a blank page and filling it up with doodles at school.
But Sam struggled to focus on anything else, fell behind in school, and was eventually diagnosed, his dad Bob says, with ADD.
You know, my worry was, what's he going to do when he grows up? What's he going to do for a living?
Sam's family encouraged him to pursue his passion for art, but he went into the service industry instead, and then, after a major surgery, was prescribed a powerful painkiller.
I really fell in love with the opiates, and so once that kind of ran out, then you go to the street kind of and find alternative ways.
And for the first time in his life, Sam stopped making art and started succumbing to his addiction.
There were times when I thought I might not ever see him again. That's how worried I was.
Bob tried doing everything to help, but nothing worked. It wasn't until Sam hit rock bottom and completed rehab for a second time that he started turning his adversity into opportunity.
I guess because I was an addict, working is also one of those things where I can't stop, so.
And because ADD gave him the ability to hyper-focus, Sam started working 16-hour days, 7 days a week, and taught himself how to build a business with his dad, showcasing his original art.
You know, it's a lot of hard work, and Sam figured out what to do with his life, so I'm very proud of him.
Now, 7 years sober, Sam spends his free time exploring nature and finding inspiration.
You know, you just completely get into another world and just creating infinite ideas and starting from nothing and then ending up with something.
And like a canvas, if you find things aren't working in your life, you can choose to paint over it and start creating something even more beautiful than you imagined.
It's a dream come true, absolutely. For people to email me constantly saying that they get so much joy from my paintings in their wall, I mean, there's no better feeling than that.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us. It's Tuesday, April 14th. Today, majority for Carney. Liberals secure 174 seats after by-election wins, locking in majority power. Plus, city deficit shrinks, how Winnipeg beat expectations while still ending the year in the red. And trophy touchdown. Soccer's biggest prize made a star stop in Winnipeg, drawing fans in up for a rare close-up. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday to you. We have Catherine Dow joining us on behalf of Terry this morning, and we're going to show you a really great photo. This is our producer, Guy. He stood in line for about 40 minutes yesterday to see the FIFA Cup. As you can see, there's the trophy. And he said there was about 200 people there, and it was really an exciting time for him. Huge soccer fans, of course. They love this. And so this is a great photo. Thank you, Guy, for sharing it with us. So if you stood in line, you had some pretty decent weather yesterday to do that. And what's expected today?
Well, today would be a good day as well to see the Cup. I don't think that's an option, unfortunately, but get outside, maybe play some footy. Did I sound European? 2 degrees out there. It is pretty overcast to kick us off. Very light winds out of the east. The barometric pressure is falling. Humidity sitting at about 76% this hour. So yes, we are going to be dealing with a good amount of sunshine for us here in southern Manitoba, but areas further south, I shouldn't use a blanket statement like that. As you can see here, a bit of a disturbance there. Likely some rainfall for areas in Morden and Winkler, Steinbach, Pinawa. While we have a 30% chance, we're still likely to stay dry. However, a second, let's not move that way, second system altogether, an approaching low pressure system that you can see there on the top left corner of your screen, that is likely to amount to a good amount of snowfall for areas in northern Manitoba today and tomorrow. So as the day progresses, you see it track in there, dumping about 5 to 10 centimeters worth in areas, particularly in the northeast. It'll show up likely as rain in the northwest. And then tomorrow, as temperatures get cooler, it looks to be more like snowfall through much of northern Manitoba, another 10 centimeters likely expected. This is that second system, though, that we're also going to be worrying about for us here in the south. So as the day progresses into Wednesday, we do start to see it reach a little bit its tentacles further into southern Manitoba. So it's a good chance we too will be getting some flurry activity and then changing into rain into Thursday. We're all over the place in terms of our temperatures. 10 degrees today, which is a typical November high. We haven't had much of that lately. Getting very warm tomorrow at 18 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud. Then as we get some rain or flurry mixed, plummeting to 0. Then Friday below freezing. Sunshine's back into the weekend, but the heat's not returning just yet. Our weather art of the day drawn by grade 6 Aurora. Lovely shot there of a squirrel, actually a groundhog, excuse me, seeing their shadow. Aurora wishing for the end of our winter. Good for you, Aurora. Meanwhile, we are going to be featuring your children's weather art of the day here on Your Morning Winnipeg. To submit yours, you can visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, fill out the form, and your art can be shown again on the show, and it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
Prime Minister Mark Carney now has his majority government. The Liberals now have 174 seats in the House of Commons after winning 3 by-elections last night. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on the results and what it means for the country.
The first results came in the riding of University Rosedale. Danielle Martin's victory giving the Liberals 1 more seat and securing Mark Carney's majority government.
As of tonight, Mark Carney and our entire incredible Liberal team have earned an even more powerful mandate to continue building a better Canada.
A little further east, the Liberals chalked up another win as the former deputy leader of the Ontario NDP delivered the riding of Scarborough Southwest.
My friends, we found a way to come together. Not because we agreed on everything, but because we recognize the common vision of Canada that we all share.
The Liberals were able to turn last year's minority government into a majority thanks in part to 5 floor crossers in as many months. The latest was an opposition MP who held social conservative values.
I think the Liberal tent is stretched so far now that the fabric must be, I don't know, is it spandex? It is something very stretchy when you can encompass Marilyn Gladue in a caucus with progressives in the Liberal Party.
The third by-election was forced in Terrebonne, Quebec, after the Supreme Court invalidated a Liberal win, which was by 1 vote.
And people really knew the importance of voting this time, so they were enthusiastic, and we were confident that they would indeed go out and vote.
The ballot question was, who can provide stability in a world of instability and a much more chaotic and divided world? And we know that the answer to that is Prime Minister Carney.
Now that he has his majority, the Prime Minister isn't wasting any time. Tuesday, Mark Carney is expected to announce new affordability measures as his government has been facing pressure to address high gas prices. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The City of Winnipeg is showing a better than expected year-end financial report. The operating budget, or general revenue fund, closed 2025 with a $14.3 million deficit. That was partly due to heavy snowfall and an unexpected $7 million legal settlement. The city notes despite pressures, it achieved its $51.8 million savings target. Of note, water and sewer operations had a $67 million positive variance due to improved billing and increased summer water consumption, while transit's revenue was $4 million higher than budgeted. The report will be reviewed by the Finance Committee on Friday. The gap between Canada's richest and poorest is growing even larger. The income gap measures the difference in the share of disposable income between households in the top 40% and those in the bottom 40%. And according to Stats Canada, it reached 46.7 percentage points in 2025. The agency says the lowest income households saw wages rise slower than the overall average, and their investment incomes fell because of lower interest payments on savings. A section of a highway in southern New Brunswick remains closed today following a major fuel spill.
We're well on our way in regards to cleaning the immediate impacted areas. So all the mitigations are in place to avoid anything getting worse or going further.
This footage obtained by CTV News shows the rollover happening on Highway 1 last Wednesday. Around 36,000 liters of fuel was spilled. The cleanup is still happening. New Brunswick's Deputy Environment Minister says it's too early to tell if charges will be laid or when the cleanup will be finished. Crews are also testing wells at nearby homes in the area to see if they have been impacted by the spill. The FIFA World Cup kicks off in just under 2 months, and while Winnipeg isn't one of the host cities, we're still getting the chance to share in the festivities.
3, 2, 1.
Soccer fans got to see the FIFA World Cup's original trophy Monday as a multi-city tour made a stop in Memorial Park. The event included appearances by the FIFA World Cup 2026 mascots, live entertainment, games, and a Coca-Cola sampling station. Officials say the tour is about bringing the World Cup to Canada.
Bringing it to all corners of our country, wrapping the World Cup and the Canadian flag, our diversity, our vast geography, but also understanding that what it means to every individual in this country. And
Winnipeg is one of 7 Canadian cities across 75 stops on the trophy tour. The FIFA World Cup takes place June 11th to July 19th, with games in 16 cities across Canada, Mexico, and the United States. A battery pack can come in handy in a pinch. This one serves an entire neighborhood. Australia has started installing community libraries. Here's how it works. The batteries collect energy from household solar panels during the day. They will then feed the power back to the grid when demand is at its highest. Each battery has enough power to support 45 homes. They also have fancy paint jobs to help beautify the neighborhood. Pretty ingenious. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now along the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are moving quite well to start off this Tuesday morning. If you have any issues out on the streets, please send us a text when it's safe and legal to do so.
Oil is falling on the possibility the U.S. and Iran could extend their 2-week ceasefire as the U.S. continues its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Now dropping today as well, along with oil, the U.S. dollar. Gold gaining. As for equities, the TSX, Dow, and New York Stock Exchange are all up for the year now. And the NASDAQ 100 is looking to set its longest streak of gains since 2021 as optimism that the U.S. and Iran are considering that round of peace talks, another round, and that has lifted the futures for the benchmark, pointing to a 10th straight day of wins, and S&P 500 contracts were 0.2% higher. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby has floated a possible merger with American Airlines, according to people familiar with the conversations, an audacious proposition that would face intense scrutiny even under the business-friendly Trump administration. Kirby has pitched the idea to senior government officials, though it's unclear if any overtures have since been made or if an actual process is underway to explore a deal. A combination would create the largest airline on the planet, pose serious antitrust concerns, and likely face significant backlash from consumers, politicians, and rival U.S. airlines. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Thank you, Roger. Let's go to Ainsley now, who's hanging out at the Manitoba Crafts Museum, and there are so many really beautiful dolls in that area right now. Ainsley, tell us more about that.
Rochelle, and the historical value, my goodness, dating back to the 1840s. Take a look at this doll. This exhibition's called Intentionally Indigenous. Now, it's in partnership with the Manitoba Crafts Museum and the Manitoba Indigenous Cultural Education Center. It runs until April 23rd, but I have to show you the Molly doll. which is the lead here as well, because it's representing 7 different nations. That's right, artists from all over Manitoba showcased their version of what the Molly doll should look like. Coming up, we're going to tell you a little bit about the artists. Back to you.
They're so cute. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's Tuesday morning, and it looks like it's going to be a good start to the day. How's it looking out there?
You know, we actually have some slight trace amounts of precipitation. That was probably just an outlier there. However, we do have a small chance of some rainfall here in Winnipeg to kick our day off, and then yes, it's going to be brightening up nicely. It's 1 degree and pretty overcast. Winds are light out of the north-northeast. Pressure is falling, and humidity sits at 85%. So kind of the weather theme of the day is like one low pressure system after another. That's because a series of these disturbances will be causing a number of different conditions throughout different parts of the province. So starting with today, northern Manitoba, an approaching low pressure system likely to spread snowfall through areas of the northeast, rainfall to the northwest. That'll likely continue on overnight and into tomorrow, even intensifying in areas of the northwest. 5 to 10 centimeters expected today, another 10 expected into tomorrow in that region. For us here in the south, we're going to deal with a slight chances of rainfall in Winnipeg, stronger chance to the south from there, 60% shot for areas in and around Morden and Winkler. Temperatures at seasonal 10 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud. But then into tomorrow, another low pressure system is approaching. While temperatures will hang on and stay sunny into tomorrow, we're likely to get some snowfall of our own by Thursday.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
It's time now for our question of the day. Today is National Gardening Day, so we're asking, what is your favorite plant or flower? Have you started your garden for the season, and what are you planting? Share with us everything you're planting this summer. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want to see more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Good morning. Several schools in the Brandon School Division were thrown into hold and secure Monday afternoon as police responded to a weapons threat. The threat was connected to Nealon High School, but a number of other schools were also put into hold and secure as a precaution. A suspect was arrested shortly after 1 in the afternoon. Police say the investigation continues, but there's no risk to the community. The province is introducing a new workplace safety regulation for large construction sites next year. Hot water for hand washing will be required. Industrial, commercial, and institutional projects that have more than 25 workers, exceed 600 square meters, or are more than 3 stories high will be required to provide hot water throughout the entire construction process. The Manitoba government says the move aims to improve hygiene and working conditions on job sites. The new requirement goes into effect on April the 1st next year. A Manitoba senior is singing a new tune thanks to a special friendship, and he's helping make sure others can do the same. 90-year-old Walter Dyson is back on stage with his band Recycled Jammers, a group ranging in age from 61 to 90. And it's all thanks to his 12-year-old rescue dog, Mozart, who Walter adopted through Before the Bridge Senior K9 Rescue last December. Besides the instant bond between the pair, Walter discovered he and Mozart share a love of music.
He enjoys it. He lays down anywhere and listens to the music and has a good time.
Mozart joins the band during its Thursday night jams and will be on hand when Walter and the Recycled Jammers host a fundraiser in support of Before the Bridge next month. Raise the Woof is set for May 2nd at Transcona Memorial Church. Money raised will benefit the senior dogs taken in and rehabilitated by the rescue. It's official, a Winnipeg trampoline park is now a Guinness World Record holder.
I can confirm this is a new record title.
A representative for Guinness has confirmed Apex Adventure Plex Winnipeg is home to the world's longest permanent publicly accessible trampoline. The record is a first of its kind, measuring in at 192 feet, 3.5 inches long by 8 feet 3 inches wide. For reference, that's longer than 11 Golden Boys laid out from foot to torch tip. The facility celebrated its grand opening last week. You can check it out for yourself at 1150 Nairn Avenue. Here's a look at what's going on now in traffic around McPhillip Street. Things are still pretty smooth over here, quite light at this point in the drive. If you see any issues, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
In entertainment, the Manitoba Chamber Orchestra is blending contemporary collaborations with timeless genres as it announces its 2026-27 season. The 8-show season kicks off September 23rd with contralto Rose Nagar Tremblay performing her album Handel Gourmand, and concludes in May with a dramatic performance under the stars at the St. Boniface Cathedral by Winnipeg's Andriana Chutchman alongside Persian-Canadian countertenor Cameron Shabazi. The theme this season is unexpected connections, so along the way you can expect to hear performances inspired by water systems, sacred texts, and the force of movement. Subscription packages are already available. Just head to the mco.ca or call the box office for more information. Individual tickets will be going on sale mid-June. The first trailer for a new independent film based on the life of Michael Schumacher has been released.
This is Formula One.
According to the official website for the upcoming film, it will focus on the pressure leading up to the German driver's Formula One debut. The trailer also noted that it was created using traditional filmmaking techniques and that no generative AI was used. The film is expected to be about 25 minutes long, with hopes of becoming a full feature film. One of the most iconic programs in television history has a new home in Canada, exclusively right here on CTV and Crave.
Bottom line, all of you should be thanking us. We took out a horrendous, horrible leader who was oppressing his own people. But don't get any ideas. And live from New York, it's
Saturday Night Live's 52nd season will be available this fall. The show, created by and produced to this day by Canadian Lorne Michaels, has set the standard for sketch comedy for over 5 decades. Your Tuesday primetime lineup kicks off with Will Trent at 7, RJ Decker comes next at 8, and Caitlin Olsen stars in High Potential at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Live from Winnipeg, it's a little bit of snow, mixed precipitation falling out there, very light there, barely picking up on our live eye. It's 1 degree, pretty overcast, dense clouds hovering above the city. West-southwesterly winds light at 5 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling, humidity sits at 82%. Yes, this low pressure system that we're seeing some traces of, bringing likely some rainfall to areas of southern Manitoba, while we here will likely spend much of the day dry. Finally, as well, we're starting off on a decent note and getting up to more typical April values. Hovering at around 0 in Brandon, Portage La Prairie, Morden, and Winkler this hour. We're a touch warmer in Winnipeg, as mentioned, at 1. Gimli in the same boat. Dauphin and Fisher Branch hovering at the freezing mark. Northern Manitoba, apologies, you're still off the air here in Island Lake, but you've got quite the difference there in temperatures, to the tune of minus 27 degrees in Churchill, minus 14 in Lynn Lake and Thompson, and above freezing in the Paw. However, when you factor in the wind chill, it's feeling closer to minus 35 degrees in Churchill. We mentioned that light precipitation outside. You can see the culprit there, this system hovering over the international border. That's likely to bring some rainfall in the early morning hours, maybe some snow mixed in there, as we've already seen. 2 degrees as kids head to class, 8 as they take lunch, as things start to clear out, 9 as they head home. We're getting a little bit warmer than that. We're looking at a high of 10 degrees. That's pretty much bang on in what's normal for this time of year. Overnight, couple clouds here or there, temperatures dipping down to 3, winds ramping up out of the south. And then tomorrow, wow, 18 with mostly sunny skies, a low chance of showers. However, it is short-lived. I'm sorry to say we see our temperatures plummet with some snow likely heading our way. Snowy owl on that note, spotted by Josh Keck, who had his camera ready. Thanks so much for sending that in. And if you've got any weather pictures to share with owls or otherwise, please email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
April 14th, 1912. The RMS Titanic struck an iceberg south of Newfoundland's Grand Banks during its maiden voyage from England to New York. The luxury liner sank overnight with the loss of more than 1,500 lives. The wreckage was found on the ocean floor in 1985. April 14th, 1939, John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath was first published. The novel was inspired by real events taking place in the United States during the Great Depression. It told the story of migrant workers fleeing the Dust Bowl of the Great Plains. It was adapted into a classic film just 1 year later, starring Henry Fonda and directed by John Ford. April 14th, 1992. The Supreme Court of Canada quashed David Milgaard's 1970 conviction for murdering Saskatoon nursing aide Gail Miller. Milgaard left a Manitoba prison 2 days later after the Saskatchewan government decided not to retry him. The province later compensated Milgaard for his 2 decades behind bars. GLP-1 drugs have transformed weight loss and diabetes treatment for millions of people. A new study links one type of GLP-1 medication with lower risk of heart and kidney damage. Mandy Gaither has more.
For many who have struggled with obesity, GLP-1 drugs have emerged as a very effective treatment to help lower the number on the scale.
We're now moving from the early first-generation drugs. We're moving forward into even more advanced drugs that have more effective weight loss.
Dr. Steve Nissen with Cleveland Clinic is senior author of a study that compared 2 types of popular GLP-1 medications, dulaglutide and tirzepatide, and their effects on major health complications, including heart attack, stroke, coronary procedures, heart failure, kidney failure, and all causes of death.
Tirzepatide was substantially better than the first-generation drugs.
Nissen says tirzepatide, a next-generation drug, targets 2 gut hormones instead of 1, which signals the brain to reduce appetite, slowing digestion and helping to avoid spiking blood sugar after meals. He says the analysis showed it was linked to lower risk of heart and kidney damage.
There was about a 16% lower risk of all of the 6 endpoints pooled together, but very impressively, there was also a 16% reduction in death due to all causes.
With tirzepatide, Nissen says gastrointestinal side effects were more common, while other adverse events were similar between the 2 medications. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's telling us about an exhibit at the Manitoba Crafts Museum and how it all started. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. We're going to introduce you to Molly, and there's a whole bunch of other history here as well. Richard Lawrence joining me now from the Manitoba Indigenous Cultural Education Center. Good morning. Thank you for being here. How did it all begin?
So, the way this started was these 2 dolls actually came in as a donation in the fall of 2024, and I was still fairly new in the position of collection manager at the center, which led to questions about how many dolls do we actually have, and let's get a better understanding of what is in the collection when it comes to dolls. And so this led to a lot of questions around the office about making sure everyone sort of started talking about the dolls again at the center, and we actually ended up realizing that there were 8 Molly dolls in the children's section that I hadn't had a chance to look at yet, and that's when we sort of realized that it was quite like a nice coincidence that it turned out that 8 dolls allowed us to actually rethink 7 of the dolls, because the center helps support awareness of the various, like the 7 nations in the province, and so it worked out where we could keep an original Molly doll that reflects the partnership between a Treaty 6 sewing group and the original doll company that made the Molly, and then us reaching out to various artists and makers in the province to then recreate outfits for the other Molly dolls to help reflect the way that sort of partnership between the doll maker could have been if they had reached out to the various groups in Manitoba.
Were you surprised by any of the dolls when they came to the exhibition?
I think they're all very surprising because many of them we actually had to ship to the artist because they're remote, right? And so we didn't really know what they were thinking. And so it was always really exciting when we got a shipment in to see what they made of this opportunity. And so yeah, it was always really exciting to see how things turned out.
So don't tell us too much because we're going to have to learn about some of those logistics coming up at 7:42.
Ooh, it's looking overcast out there, quite cloudy and a little bit damp. It's 1 degree. You can't see it. There's some very trace amounts of precipitation. Winds are light out of the west-southwest. The barometric pressure is falling and the humidity sits at 82%. We could get an errant raindrop or two throughout the morning here in Winnipeg, while areas further to the south, as you can see, are in the crosshairs of this low pressure system, likely to spread rainfall through areas like Steinbach, Morden and Winkler, Pinawa, while we're likely to stay dry under a mix of sun and cloud, and finally dealing with some temperatures that are more in line with April values. 10 degrees is what we're looking at, but that might as well be 30 degrees to me because I've been missing what feels more like a typical spring, and we're finally going to get a good taste of that today, though it will be short-lived. Winds will be light out of the southwest, and we do have that slight chance of rain and flurries, most notably in the morning before we get the mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. Temperatures not budging too much overnight with 3 degrees. Winds are ramping up out of the south alongside increasing cloudiness. And then into tomorrow, no, not a typo, though that's usually a good chance with me. It is 18 degrees tomorrow with some very strong southerly winds. We do still have that slight chance of showers. I mentioned, though, a come down. It is on the way on Thursday alongside a low pressure system, likely to bring some snowfall, although it could be a little bit wetter than that, more like sleet with that high of 0 degrees. We get even cooler from there with a chance of more snowfall. I need to preface this. It's not going to be huge in terms of accumulation, but I still don't want to see that in April. And the weekend, we do return to the sunshine, but it's going to take into the start of next week before we return to more seasonal values.
Alarming new data shows more Winnipeggers are falling into homelessness than are finding a way out. A sign advocates say underscores the growing scale and urgency of the crisis in Winnipeg. End Homelessness Winnipeg collects its data from what's called the by name list. This is a real-time count of people in our city experiencing homelessness who have either used services or made contact with a homeless agency in the last 90 days. And for more than half of those counted, this isn't a temporary housing issue. They're dealing with chronic homelessness, which End Homelessness Winnipeg describes as someone who's been homeless for at least 6 months in the past year, or it has had repeated episodes over several years. And it's a trend CEO Jennifer Moore-Ratroy says should serve as a wake-up call.
Costs are getting higher, and income is just not keeping pace with the cost of housing, and that is pushing more and more people to the edges of homelessness and into homelessness.
While the homeless numbers reported Monday are alarming and climbing, and Homelessness Winnipeg fears the true tally is likely much higher, as it's only able to count those who are known to or have registered with homeless organizations. Meanwhile, the mayor's office says over the past 4 years, the city has approved new housing and helped fund more than 2,600 affordable and rent geared to income units. 2 men are facing charges after First Nations safety officers say the men were found with jerry cans full of liquor in a dry community. It happened shortly after midnight last Tuesday near Bonnie B, Cree Nation. According to RCMP, the pair didn't make it very far after being spotted by safety officers when their snowmobiles broke down. The suspects, aged 46 and 22, were detained and allegedly in possession of cash and a small amount of what is believed to be cocaine, in addition to the buckets of booze. They're charged with possession of a controlled substance and possession of property obtained by crime, in addition to offenses under the Liquor, Gaming, and Cannabis Control Act. First Nations groups and community leaders are gathering in Winnipeg this week to share ideas and learn from real-world examples of how to shore up the energy grid. The First Nation-led Energy Readiness Forum is bringing together leadership, energy advocates, and technical experts to explore the importance of energy sovereignty and how to move projects from the drawing board into reality. It could include how to secure funding, the potential of solar and wind energy, and jobs training.
A lot of our communities suffer power outages almost annually, and numbers vary from community to community, from geographic locations. So we're looking at, how do we empower our communities to start thinking outside the box, working with the right folks, whether it's government or hydro or whoever, to look at solutions, community-driven solutions.
Cost of that. Coordinator Greg McIver says energy security is the first step towards other avenues which would benefit remote communities, such as developing greenhouses. The conference continues today. It's being hosted by Barons River First Nation. A battery pack can come in handy in a pinch. This one serves an entire neighborhood. Australia has started installing community libraries. Here's how it works. The batteries collect energy from household solar panels during the day. They will then feed the power back to the grid when demand is at its highest. Each battery has enough power to support 45 homes. They also have fancy paint jobs to help beautify the neighborhood. A new study offers another way to ease depression symptoms: exercise. For some people, depression is a lingering issue, but new evidence suggests workouts of any kind, any intensity, and any length can help lift your spirits. In fact, exercise was as effective as medication or talk therapy at reducing symptoms of depression, including fatigue, trouble concentrating, and sleep issues. Strength training workouts appear to have the strongest benefits, but cardio work too. Though it can be hard to get moving at the start, finding a workout buddy or a group class can make the first step or bicep curl a lot easier. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound curb lane on Gary Street will be closed between Ellis and Portage, with trucks prohibited to do right turns. Following the rush, the westbound curb and middle lanes on Portage will be closed from Gary to Smith Street, and the northbound median lane on Hargrave Street will be closed from Graham to Portage. Here's a look at your gas prices now. In Winnipeg, the average is lower at $1.73, and the lowest price in the city is $1.57 on Isabel Street and Salter Street. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Taking a look outside right now, we're sitting at 1 degree. More Your Morning Winnipeg after this break. Stay with us.
I'm so sorry to show you this Winnipeg. Wow, Mother Nature is putting us through it. We've got some blowing snow, as you can see, with a 1 degree out there. South-southwesterly winds are calm, though they're doing a good job of whipping those flakes around. Pressure falling, humidity sitting at 85%. Yeah, not so great. I was talking about this low pressure system that could bring some mixed precipitation this morning. Environment and Climate Change Canada said about a 30% shot. It's happening, folks. The good news is it's likely to be short-lived. You can see it swirling there. So while it will be likely short-lived for us here in Winnipeg, areas further to the south of us where you can see it's really kind of hovering over, Steinbach, Morden, Winkler, etc., you're likely to have a rainy or snowy day ahead. Meanwhile, to the north, totally different low pressure system impacting you, likely spreading flurries. That's the case in the northeast as this system has approached from the west. It's going to be sprinkling about 5 to 10 centimeters worth of snow through this region today, under a high of -3 degrees in Thompson, -10 in Gillam, staying above freezing at 6 degrees in Island Lake, which means that system will fall more as rain. And to the north, Churchill staying dry but oh so chilly at -15 degrees. To the northwest, where that system is likely going to come to you as rainfall throughout the day because temperatures a little bit warmer. 4 degrees in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, the Paw, 5 in Flin Flon. More like snowfall coming to Lynn Lake with cooler temperatures at -8. The southwest sitting pretty. A mix of sun and cloud, more towards cloud into the afternoon for Brennan and Neepawa, highs of 12. More of a mix of sun and cloud in Dauphin and Swan River with highs of 10 and 9 degrees respectively. So I mentioned that low pressure system that's bringing that snowfall out there. Could mix into rain a little later on. That'll fall throughout Morden, Winkler, Steinbach and Sprague throughout the day, while we will likely be clearing up more of a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures more typical to April with 10 degrees our high, even warmer in Portage La Prairie at 12. Northwestern Ontario, you two not immune, likely a mix of flurries, maybe some rainfall mixed in there. Highs of 7 in Kenora and Red Lake, 6 in Dryden, 8 in Fort Francis. Overnight tonight, we'll deal with 1 or 2 clouds here or there. Temperatures dipping down to 3 degrees. We're not done yet, though we're going to be very warm tomorrow with 18 degrees. We do have a low chance of showers. And then tomorrow, as you can see, what a difference a day makes. We're taking a plummet to 0, and that's when we're getting another low pressure system with some snowfall that's likely to last into Friday, but we clear up in time for the weekend.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's go back now to Ainsley, who has been telling us all about this exhibit at the Manitoba Crafts Museum involving some beautiful dolls and many different communities around Manitoba. Hello.
Hello, and getting them to Winnipeg wasn't the easiest of feats, but it's very rewarding. I'm joined by Danielle Mason, who's telling us about Intentionally Indigenous, one of the 7 Mollies here. Which nation did she come from?
So this is our Cree doll. She is from the beautiful Rosa Scribe from northern Manitoba, and she had quite the journey to come on down to Winnipeg. There's the delay sending her up. She got stuck in Thompson for a while, and I'm hoping she got to take the scenic route on the train. It's beautiful up that way. But yeah,
that's awesome. Tell us a little bit about the collaboration of all these dolls and even getting them in and how that came to be.
Oh, it was a real collective effort. A really good friend of ours and colleague at the MICEC, Ernestine Musso, gave a really big hand and kind of coordinating everybody. She was the one who really stepped up and had a lot of connections with the makers, and so we have folks from here in Winnipeg, we have folks from further north, central Manitoba, all over the place. Yeah.
And you can really see it exemplified through all of these styles. It's crafts, it's history, it's art. Tell us about the merriment of all of those things.
Oh, it's something that's so exciting for all of us. Myself as an artist, I'm so in awe of sort of every unique aspect that each artist brought and sort of bringing their own love and joy into each piece and a lot of personality into each girl.
I noticed that for sure, but I also see some commonalities.
Yeah, there's kind of similar styles that you see right across the province. I think the real
It's hard to fit it in, all the ones, because they're all so beautiful. Okay, we will chat more. Yes. We will chat with you guys more coming up at 8:06.
Thank you, Ainsley. One Ottawa woman is rocking in her 90th birthday with doing what she loves most, CrossFit workout. Avril Legault says it's all about getting off the couch. That's what makes her feel a lot better. CTV's Camille Wilson with that story.
In a CrossFit center full of super fit people, it's not the strongest or fastest, even the youngest who stands out.
Avril's an inspiration to every single person that walks into the gym, myself included.
All the buzz at this place is about Avril Legault, 90 years old, and working out with the best of them.
I don't believe that number's me. I just can't believe it. I don't feel 90. And that's because of CrossFit.
Legault's husband passed away 9 years ago.
After being married for 60 years, I didn't know what to do with myself. So this is a friend of my daughter's. She got me into CrossFit. And that was the beginning. It's too wimpy.
Her goals were modest: how to get up if she falls down.
I remember when she first joined the gym, she walked up those stairs with a walker. And after coming to the gym for about 3 weeks, she sold her walker because she didn't need it anymore. It's a reminder that we can all move our bodies at any age.
Legault's daughter says CrossFit is her mom's lifeline.
I'm super proud of her. I have so much respect. Like, so many people just can't get out the door. She's really proud of herself, and we're happy for her. She's still living on her own, and she is stubborn. She's going to make it to 100 for sure.
Class members say it's about always thinking, what would Avril do?
She's not afraid of anything, and it's such an inspiration. I hope that I can be even like half of her when I'm her age.
Proud to be the oldest in her class, her favorite song, fittingly, is Staying Alive.
All you have to do is get off the couch and join CrossFit, and you'll feel a lot better.
Oh, and this is her birthday, and this is how she is celebrating age 90. And she has no intention of stopping anytime soon.
I'm just going to continue coming to CrossFit till I'm 100.
For her 90th birthday, the gym owner is giving her a free membership for life. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy first birthday, Harlow. Love from your family. Happy birthday, Kirsten, with much love from your mama. Happy third birthday, Layla. Love mommy, daddy, Nana, papa, Auntie Kayla, Leah, and grandma. And a happy 9th birthday to Lincoln. Love mom, dad, Amelia, and Simon. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
I'm not going to sugarcoat things. Not great up here, as you can tell. That snowfall ramped up fast and furiously and is really coming down on downtown Winnipeg. It's 1 degree with some light south-southwesterly winds. Snow, as you can tell, barometric pressure falling, humidity sits at 85%. The good news is this system is likely to be short-lived for us here in Winnipeg. It should taper off later this morning. I'm leaning heavily on the shoulds because, to be honest, we only had about a 30% chance of this system making its way to Winnipeg, so I thought we were going to be staying dry. Mother Nature made a fool out of me. So yes, after this tapers off, more of a mix of sun and cloud for us. Temperatures more around seasonal at 10 degrees. I shouldn't complain though, because a separate approaching low pressure system that's going to envelop northern Manitoba today, sprinkling upwards of 5 to 10 centimeters worth of snowfall on the northeast. It'll likely fall as rain to the northwest before temperatures dip overnight, and that'll turn into snowfall for you, plus another 5 to 10 centimeters into tomorrow as well. The good news is our temperatures are rebounding in a big way tomorrow. While we're dealing with a high of 10 degrees today, in Winnipeg we're looking at 18. We do fall off midweek, and with it comes some flurry activity. I don't even know how to do like the good news, bad news sandwich here because there's so much happening weather-wise. Yes, we are at about 11 degrees for our high today. We're going to be just shy of that, well off that record set in 1958.
Thank you, Catherine. Taking care of your teeth is a lifelong commitment to better overall health. April is Oral Health Month, and the Manitoba Dental Association has important tips on how to properly brush your teeth because apparently some of us are still getting it wrong. Joining us now from the Manitoba Dental Association is dentist Dr. Kelly Regula. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we've been brushing our teeth our entire lives, hopefully, so why are we still getting it wrong? What are we doing?
Well, interestingly enough, even though you think we learn from a young age how to care for our teeth, there are some specific techniques that we like to recommend that maybe not everyone is doing correctly.
So we might be missing some spots.
Correct. So some of the most important areas that I find people are missing are areas along the gum line, particularly the back teeth, so along molars. So for example, I have quite a large demo model here. Front teeth, easy to access, easy to see, but oftentimes along the back teeth, as we close our mouth to brush, our jaw closes and gets tight, and so our cheek pushes our brush out. So what we want to do is angle the toothbrush at 45 degrees along these upper back molars to be able to get to the most posterior tooth. For those of us who have wisdom teeth, it becomes even harder because it's much farther back. So by closing the mouth, you can get to those upper molars that are harder to reach. Similarly on the bottom as well. When we get to the inner surfaces of our teeth, if I open the model here, similarly, we have a tongue, and the tongue tends to push us out. So if you can see here, what we want to do is gently angle the brush between the gum and the tongue and get that brush in between the gum tissue along the inner surface here of these lower teeth.
So is this where you find cavities most commonly?
Well, interestingly enough, we do see what's called demineralization. So I do like to think about a tooth like a peanut M&M. The outer surface is the enamel. The chocolatey layer is the dentin, which is soft, just like chocolate, and then you get to the nut, which is the nerve. So we start to see breakdown in enamel where we see these white spots develop that eventually turn into brown spots and then develop holes.
Wow.
So it's a great analogy.
So it starts the whole process.
That's right. So we do see these demineralization areas along the gum line.
Okay, now your toothbrush. Some people might think the harder the toothbrush, the better, but you are saying no, that's not the case.
Correct. So we love the extra soft toothbrush. We also like these new toothbrushes that have indicators on them. So if you have a manual toothbrush, they're still great. But electric toothbrushes are great as well. And you'll see they have some color to them. So when the color starts to disappear, or after 3 months, it's a good idea to switch your toothbrush. You might notice here, this is a well-loved brush head, and you'll see that the bristles have started to splay. So the color is changing, the bristles are splaying, it's actually becoming stiffer and more aggressive. So we like a very soft toothbrush and a soft touch In other words, not pressing too hard with your hand in order to prevent damage. We want to remove the light, fluffy plaque and not scrub away our enamel.
Okay, so that's good to know. Flossing is also very important. This is something often people skip this process, right?
Yes, and you know, if you skip the process, you're actually missing important parts of your tooth that your brush can't get at.
Okay.
So I'll just move over here. We have different varieties of floss. For example, we have floss that expands. We love this floss because it's able to cover a greater surface area between the tooth. When you go to floss, what you want to do actually
almost out of time already,
is not go straight down, but actually make a C shape, and I'll move this so you can see better. Make a C shape between your tooth and the gum, and then shoe shine up and down so you effectively remove the plaque where the toothbrush can't reach.
Great advice. Okay, and you should do this at least once a day.
Yes, so brush for 2 minutes, 2 times a day, and then follow that up with flossing.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Now you have no reason not to brush or floss your teeth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment for Monday. We're taking a trip to Seattle for this one. It's the Astros and Mariners. Cam Smith hits one deep to right center. Luke Rowley tracking it. How about that? Makes an adjustment. That is an incredible catch to the wall. What a grab for the Mariners right fielder. Looked like he couldn't pick it up in the air. Finds it at that very last second, and that right there, worthy of your must-see moment. Meanwhile, tonight on TSN, we've got the NBA play-in tournament. The Heat will take on the Hornets. Tip-off of that game goes 7:30 p.m. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a terrific Tuesday.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Tuesday, April 14th. Preparing for the worst. Community members and volunteers are coming together against possible flooding that may be as devastating as the one 4 years ago. Majority achieved. A combination of by-election wins yesterday and several floor crossings puts the federal Liberals in the driver's seat. And what once was late now is found. How long did it take for these very much overdue library books to find their way back home to BC? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Tuesday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now at 8:15, we're going to tell you about a TEDx Winnipeg talk that's happening at the end of May. It all involves how you could literally massage and manipulate and change your brain. So we're going to find out more about that. And then Mark Carney got his majority last night in 3 different by-elections in Ontario as well as in Quebec. So we're going to get some reaction and what that all means for our federal government right now. But let's talk about the weather. You can't help but see all those massive snowflakes flying right now. What's happening?
I'm entering into the witness protection program after this because why Mother Nature? Look at that. Wow. So we knew about this low pressure system. The chances of it reaching us was pegged at about 30%. Goes without saying it reached us. It's showing up as flurries, though as temperatures warm up, it could change to rainfall. The good news is it's likely not to last too long. It is 1 degree out there. Winds are light out of the south-southwest. The pressure is falling and the humidity sits at 85%. Should I tell you now or later that this isn't our last bout of snowfall likely in southern Manitoba? We'll talk about that later. So this is this lovely little system that's not bringing such lovely little snowflakes to our neck of the woods. You can see it's really enveloping areas in Morden and Winkler. So you're likely to be dealing with this throughout the day, while we're likely to put it in our rearview mirror into the afternoon. Meanwhile, as the day progresses, come on, where are we going here with our camera? Sorry, folks. Yep, I'm going to go off camera and do this off camera. Okay, so from there, we're likely to be dealing with some sunshine into the afternoon, excuse me, and typical values, looks like we are frozen, typical values for this time of year. So 10 degrees in Winnipeg, very similar highs felt throughout southern Manitoba. Meanwhile, a totally separate system in the north, a low pressure one at that, likely to sprinkle a good amount of snowfall for you, about 5 to 10 centimeters worth in the northeast. It's likely to show up
over as a rainfall over the northwest. For us here, we'll get sunshine into the afternoon, temperatures dipping down to 3 degrees, and then tomorrow we do get sunshine back with a high of 18. Sorry, folks, not sure what's going on with our graphics, but that is the word on the weather front. In terms of our weather art of the day, this one's great by Aurora, although it's kind of rubbing our nose in it because she drew just a great little groundhog seeing the groundhog shadow, but doesn't look like winter has left us at all. Thank you, Aurora. You are so talented. And we want to remind you, we are featuring a kid weather art of the day every day here on Your Morning Winnipeg. To submit your child's, you can visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, fill out the form because your art could be shown here, and it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Keniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
A huge effort is underway to protect Peguis First Nation from flooding. The Manitoba government says tens of thousands of sandbags are being delivered to Peguis and nearby areas as it prepares for the threat of devastating floods. And those sandbags are just one element of current flood preparations.
We're all come together as a community, as we are, and we're helping save the people that do flood bad.
This Tiger Dam is being set up to protect this home from potential flood damage. Peguis First Nation is determined to prevent as many homes as it can from flooding. 225 homes have been identified as needing protection. The province is warning peak flows could possibly reach 2022 levels, a year which saw many Peguis residents forced from their homes. Chief Stan Bird fears that could very easily happen again in the coming days.
Likely simply because a majority of our roads will be cut off. We won't have access to things like clean drinking water, food.
Peguis residents aren't in this battle alone. Roughly 30 volunteers from Team Rubicon have arrived to help out, and another 17 are on the way. The humanitarian organization is comprised of ex-military, retired first responders and civilians, and deploys to natural disasters like floods. The Liberals have turned their minority government into a majority after winning 3 by-elections. This is Canada's majority since Justin Trudeau's first win in 2015. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government got here by taking by-elections in the ridings of University Rosedale, Scarborough Southwest, and Terrebonne. 5 MPs had also crossed the floor to join the Liberals. The Liberals now have 174 seats in the House. The majority allows them to pass legislation without any help from the opposition. It also gives them more control over committees. It's never too late to return something that isn't yours. A user of the Richmond Public Library in BC just returned 2 books that were due back 23 years ago. They were mailed back from Toronto. The library says if late fees still applied, the bill would have been in the thousands. Staff say it's a great example of how it's never too late to bring a book back and that you can always drop your books off in the mail to be returned. All right, here's a look at what's happening outside now on Portage Avenue. It looks like things are still moving quite well in this part of the city and that the snow isn't affecting the drive too much at this point. If you see any issues out there, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about these beautiful dolls that are part of this exhibit at the Manitoba Crafts Museum. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. It's called Intentionally Indigenous. And yes, the 7 Mollies behind us, absolutely gorgeous. You're going to have to come in to see them yourself. Andrea and Richard join us now to talk about what's next for the Craft Museum as well as the Indigenous group. Okay, tell us about what's next.
So in just over a week, all of this comes out. Hope you can come and see it before then. But after that, next Saturday on April the 25th, we're doing a drag show with 6 performers. And before that, there's going to be an exhibit of some of the clothing and accessories that they often make and customize. So tickets are on our website. Hope you can make it.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Okay. And when it comes to you guys, you already have stuff on site, right? But you're going to be bringing what we have here back?
Yeah, so one of the things we're going to do is we have to figure out how to bring them home properly and find them a new place to stand because they weren't, this is the first time that they've been up like this, and so we'll find a new space for them in the main space.
And when it comes to events, you've got one that brings in people from near and far.
Yeah, and so we've got a fundraising bingo at the end of May that we have running that will be a big event.
And what does a fundraiser like that allow you guys to do?
It helps with core funding, and we also have a major expansion that we're trying to work towards right now.
That's so exciting. And when it comes to a collaboration between the two of you guys, it was really the perfect combination. Tell us about your reaction to seeing everything all together and why it's been so fabulous.
I think it's just been great to collaborate. It expands our audience, expands their audience, and it was just, I think seeing the Molly dolls in all their outfits was really the best part, because it's just they're all different, and you can really see the personality of the artist, but also you can see how much diversity there is in the communities we have here in Manitoba.
Thank you so much. This is with the Manitoba Crafts Museum and the Manitoba Indigenous Cultural Education Center's collection. Wow, with a throat that's been gone all morning.
You did it.
She doesn't stop. Back to you, Rochelle.
Thank you, Ainsley. A Montreal student has found a way to combine his love of baseball and math through the MLB Players STEM League. Last month, he competed on the world stage and made Canadian history. CTV's Sweta Rassi reports.
Involves players' analytics to predict an outcome of a baseball game.
It's a board game that combines baseball and math.
6 and 3, which is 18. No.
And from a Harley Musgrave, those just happen to be his two favorite things.
I like timesing, dividing. I like fractions.
It all started when the 10-year-old boy and his father were watching a baseball game at home. That's when a commercial for a board game called MLB Players STEM League caught their eye. It's a baseball-inspired game where players use real MLB statistics to calculate the moves of their roster. Months later, they found out the league was holding its worldwide championships in Miami. Musgrave sent in a video application and got in, becoming the first Canadian ever to compete.
Feels pretty awesome to be like the first Canadian, like to represent the whole country like for the first time in this game.
His dad couldn't wait to share the news.
He was actually in class when I got it, so I actually came to the school to let him know. I was pretty much in tears.
Last month, Musgrave went up against 25 other players. He battled his way to the semifinals before losing by just 1 point. But he didn't go home empty-handed.
So I won the sportsmanship award.
It was a trip full of memories. He met some real-life MLB players, watched the World Baseball Classic quarterfinal, and left with the shirt and ball signed by the pros. Back home, he continues to sharpen his skills.
I'm probably going to go again next year.
And by his calculations, he may be right. Sweta Rassi, CTV News.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Ooh, I hate to show you this, folks. It's coming down pretty hard out there, and what I mean is snow. 0 degrees. We're also losing a little bit of heat. Winds are out of the west-southwest at 6 clicks. Pressure is falling. Humidity sits at 97%. If you're with us at the top of the hour, my computer froze, I think because it was like, enough. I'm done with the snowfall. Can we get started with spring already? I know how it feels, but it's joined us again, so we're back up and running. Temperatures, as mentioned, hovering around freezing through much of southern Manitoba. A little bit warmer in areas further to the north in Gimli, Fisher Branch and Swan River at 1 degree. To the north, we shouldn't complain because they've been dealing with some snowfall and will be likely dealing with it for today and tomorrow to come, to the tune of 5 to 10 centimeters worth today in the northeast and then 5 to 10 centimeters tomorrow in the northwest. Temperatures there frigid as well, minus 14 degrees in Lynn Lake and Thompson, minus 26 in Churchill, with that wind chill feeling closer to minus 38. Here is the culprit. I shake my fist at you. you, bringing that snowfall to us. It's likely to hover mostly in areas further to the south of us throughout the day and likely to switch into rainfall as temperatures progress. We are likely going to see it taper off a little later on into the afternoon, but you do want to bundle the kids up as they head to school. It's going to be about 2 degrees under that mixed precipitation, 8 with a mix of sun and cloud as they take lunch, a little bit warmer as they head home at 9. We're getting up to a high of 10 degrees. It's basically seasonal. We will take it. We do have that slight chance of flurry activity, but it's turning out to be a sure shot as it's following right now. However, it will taper off later on this morning. Tomorrow, we still have a chance of some rainfall. And with that, above seasonal high of 18 degrees, very short-lived though. We're looking at snowfall and cool temperatures on Thursday with a high of 0. We're going to take a break, but so much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come. Don't go anywhere.
Oil is falling on the possibility the U.S. and Iran could extend their 2-week ceasefire as the U.S. continues its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Now dropping today as well, along with oil, the U.S. dollar. Gold gaining. As for equities, the TSX, Dow, and New York Stock Exchange are all up for the year now. And the NASDAQ 100 is looking to set its longest streak of gains since 2021 as optimism that the U.S. and Iran are considering that round of peace talks, another round, and that has lifted the futures for the benchmark, pointing to a 10th straight day of wins, and S&P 500 contracts were 0.2% higher. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby has floated a possible merger with American Airlines, according to people familiar with the conversations. An audacious proposition that would face intense scrutiny even under the business-friendly Trump administration. Kirby has pitched the idea to senior government officials, though it's unclear if any overtures have since been made or if an actual process is underway to explore a deal. A combination would create the largest airline on the planet, pose serious antitrust concerns, and likely face significant backlash from consumers, politicians, and rival U.S. airlines. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
A TEDx Winnipeg speaker says our brain is like a sculpture that can be massaged and shaped to create long-lasting changes to our lives from the inside out. PhD student in human anatomy and cell science at the University of Manitoba, Farshid Guillaume-Hour's TED Talk is titled The Art of Brain Sculpting. TEDx Winnipeg speaker Farshid Guillaume-Hour is joining me now. Good morning, Farshid.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This is such an interesting concept to me. Now, you specialize in neuroscience and developmental neurobiology. What is that exactly?
It's the science of studying the brain and how the brain develops, form patterns, form neural pathways, and build us or shape us at the end.
And this is a pattern that starts right at birth until adulthood, right?
Yes, it starts with the the brain doesn't start precise, okay? It's not born precise. It's born with overbuilding, building more connections, but over time it refines, prunes every extra things, and in fact, based on our experience or neuronal activity, it shapes who we are.
But you could also change your brain on your own. How do you do something like that?
Yeah, my upcoming TEDx talk explores how the brain is constantly shaping us. I use the metaphor of sculpting to show that growth isn't only about learning more. Sometimes it's about unlearning some of the costly habits that quietly drain our time and energy or focus.
And so habits like what, for example?
Habits like, we can say, constantly checking email and wasting time.
Like on social media, for example.
Yeah, exactly, okay. Scrolling, whatever. And multitasking all day and losing focus, or some of the most common, which are ordinary, we want to lose weight, or smoking. Every time we decide to quit, but we can't. But small interruptions, but intentional ones, can help to replace those patterns.
And so that's how you massage and sculpt your brain, is what you're saying. So how do you do those interruptions?
Those interruptions, you can set for yourself a small cues, like interrupt, or you can have a small pause. Every time you realize it, pause and have a deep breath and then say your cue word, for example, interrupt, and then do this repeated again, and again until the new path becomes available for you.
So you're training your brain to change your habits.
Exactly.
And it works.
It works, but if you repeat enough.
Okay, so you've got to be ready to make these changes to help your brain along, right?
Exactly.
A sculpture doesn't just happen overnight. It takes some work.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's not an overnight thing, and you need to repeat it. And I see many people blame themselves, blame themselves for habits that are actually learned, practice neural pathways. I want to encourage people to realize that those patterns can be reshaped.
That is amazing and so fascinating. Now, TEDx Winnipeg is happening at the end of May at the University of Manitoba. Thank you for sharing this with us, and good luck with your TED Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Of course,
yeah,
thank you.
It was exciting. Yeah.
Good news, bad news. Bad news, we'll start with that. It is snowing. It was coming down quite heavily. The good news is it's easing slightly here in downtown Winnipeg. Doesn't look like it, but it is. 0 degrees, but that snowfall still coming down. Winds out of the west-southwest, pressure falling, humidity sits at 97%. Let's start at the north and work our way down. So northern Manitoba, a separate low-pressure system is going to be impacting you for the next day and a couple days rather to come. It is pushing in from Alberta, spreading first rainfall in the northwest and then as snowfall into the northeast. About 5 to 10 centimeters worth could be coming to that neck of the woods. Temperatures there decent, peaking at around 5 degrees in the northwest, cooler in very northerly parts like Churchill, where it's getting up to about minus 15 degrees. That snowfall is likely to continue overnight and yes, turning from rain to snow in the northwest, where you could get 10 centimeters worth into tomorrow. For us here in the south, this separate low pressure system, that's what's bringing the snowfall to us. It is likely to taper off for us here in Winnipeg, but linger in areas south to us. Temperatures at around seasonal, 10 degrees. Some sunshine expected into the afternoon, though it is hard to believe looking out your window right now. Speaking of snow, what a gorgeous snowy owl Josh was able to capture on camera. Thank you so much for sending that other picture our way. And if you've got any to send our way, you can email those to the email on your screen.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Good morning. It took nearly a full year and a handful of by-elections and defections, but Prime Minister Mark Carney has turned his minority government into a majority. The Liberals won all 3 of Monday's federal by-elections, giving them 174 seats in the House of Commons, making Carney's the first federal government in Canada's history to switch from a minority to a majority between elections. Joining us now to tell us more about the implication of these results is former Liberal Foreign Affairs Minister Lloyd Axworthy. Good morning, Lloyd.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Well, you too. Thanks for joining us. Now, first of all, let's start with your reaction to last night's by-election results. Are you surprised on how it all played out?
Not a bit. I think the trend lines were very strong, and Mr. Carney's very fortunate in the sense that he's got Pierre Poilievre as the opposition there, who's very unpopular, and he has Donald Trump in the United States, which scares the bejesus out of Canadians. So it gives them a pretty good sort of set of contrast. And now we'll see what he can do with it now that he has a majority government.
Now, this is the first time in Canadian history that a federal government switched from a minority to a majority between elections. What are the implications of this?
Well, I think there's some benefits. I think certainly we should see a little bit better behavior in Parliament. There won't be the same degree of partisanship because there's not an election in the offing. People will have a little bit more sense of stability. And I think just in terms of running the train, this gives the Liberals the majority in all the committees, parliamentary committees. I mean, that sounds like kind of an inside thing, but a lot of the work of Parliament is in the committees, and they will now they won't be subject to the same kind of opposition control. So I think those are benefits, but I think, in all fairness, I have to say, I think there's some concerns. Once you have a majority, you are pretty much unaccountable. You can do what you want. And you can answer questions in the House of Commons, but you've kind of lost any bargaining coming from the other parts of the country or that are not represented by Liberals. So, and even in the Liberal Party itself, I think Mr. Carney is taking the Liberal Party fairly kind of a right of centre positioning on many of these issues, and I think there's a lot of Liberals who are a little concerned that we're kind of losing touch with some of the core foundation beliefs that we have as Liberals.
Now, this majority for Carney was also made possible due to the 5 Conservative MPs who crossed the floor and then joined the federal Liberals. What do you think this will all mean for the opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre?
I think he's a dead man walking. I mean, I think his political future, I don't think he should have ever come back. I mean, it's not for me to say, but he clearly had kind of lost his momentum, lost his mojo, and his kind of politics are not very appealing in the kind of situation Canada's in, where people are looking for ways in which we can sort of buttress and or stand against the Americans and other things. And he's always just looked a little bit too close to the kind of Trump point of view. So I suspect we're going to see some interesting political shifts going on in the next year or two. As I said, the Liberal Party itself is certainly being drawn into a kind of a right of centre position. It's going to leave a lot of Liberals wondering, where's their representation? And the NDP have gone further left with the selection of Mr. Lewis. So there are some big sort of political spaces right now in Canada.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your perspective and your time today, Lloyd.
Nice to talk to you. Thank you.
Too. Here's a look outside now at Notre Dame Avenue. Yeah, that snow is starting to pile up in some parts. It looks fresh and clean, but not too pleasant, though. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Not a great start to our Tuesday. I don't know why I speak in a weird voice to try and cushion the blow, because it's snowing out there. It's 0, light west-southwesterly winds, pressure falling, humidity sitting at 97%. I feel like I'm in trouble talking about this because I don't love telling you that yes, there's snowfall and it's quite heavy out there. The good news is it's going to start easing soon enough. The bad news is we have more snowfall in our future. So this is that culprit there, this low pressure system that's really hovering over the international border, but it's showing up more as a rainfall, as you can see by that green tinge. But for the northern parts of our province, rather, a totally separate low pressure system impacting you, and it's showing up as flurry activity today in areas like Thompson and Gillam. Island Lake, though, likely to stick with the rainfall. Churchill staying dry at -15 degrees, but very chilly with that mix of sun and cloud. So yes, about 5 to 10 centimeters worth could be coming. That's by Environment and Climate Change Canada's estimation. That same system will be affecting the northwest, but it'll likely show up as more of a rain-snow mix, maybe even more rain, because temperatures warmer at 4 in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, the Paw, 5 in Flin Flon, cooler in Lynn Lake, where you will likely get flurries with -8. The southwest sitting pretty, likely to deal with a mix of sun and cloud, more in the way of clouds in Brandon and Neepawa with highs of 12 degrees. For us here, yes, that mixed precipitation likely throughout the morning and the mix of sun and cloud for us into the afternoon in Winnipeg, but that system will likely hover over areas further south to us. Northwestern Ontario, U2 mixed precipitation below seasonal values with 7 in Kenora, 6 in Dryden. Overnight, 1 or 2 clouds could be lingering, temperatures dipping down to 3 degrees. We rebound so nicely with 18 degrees, but it is short-lived as a separate system bringing more flurries to us on Thursday with a measly high of 0.
Thank you, Catherine. Many Canadians are eager to hear what the Prime Minister will say this morning. Fresh off his majority win, Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected to shift his focus to affordability. He's set to announce new measures to bring down costs for Canadians at 10 a.m. Eastern. Following that announcement, Prime Minister Carney will be hosting the President of Finland, Alexander Stubb. It will be the first official bilateral meeting for the two leaders. Alarming new data shows more Winnipeggers are falling into homelessness than are finding a way out. A sign advocates say underscores the growing scale and urgency of the crisis in Winnipeg. End Homelessness Winnipeg collects its data from what's called the by name list. This is a real-time count of people in our city experiencing homelessness who have either used services or made contact with a homeless agency in the last 90 days. And for more than half of those counted, this isn't a temporary housing issue. They're dealing with chronic homelessness, which End Homelessness Winnipeg describes as someone who's been homeless for at least 6 months in the past year or has had repeated episodes over several years. The province is introducing a new workplace safety regulation for large construction sites next year. Hot water for hand washing will be required. Industrial, commercial, and institutional projects that have more than 25 workers, exceed 600 square meters, or are more than 3 stories high will be required to provide hot water throughout the entire construction process. The Manitoba government says the move aims to improve hygiene and working conditions on job sites. The new requirement goes into effect on April 1st next year. One Ottawa woman is rocking in her 90th birthday with doing what she loves most, CrossFit workouts. Avril Legault says it's all about getting off the couch. That's what makes her feel a lot better. CTV's Camille Wilson with that story.
In a CrossFit center full of super fit people, it's not the strongest or fastest, even the youngest who stands out.
Avril's an inspiration to every single person that walks into the gym, myself included.
All the buzz at this place is about Avril Legault, 90 years old, and working out with the best of them.
I don't believe that number's me. I just can't believe it. I don't feel 90. And that's because of CrossFit.
Legault's husband passed away 9 years ago.
After being married for 60 years, I didn't know what to do with myself. So this is a friend of my daughter's. She got me into CrossFit, and that was the beginning. It's too wimpy.
Her goals were modest: how to get up if she falls down.
I remember when she first joined the gym, she walked up those stairs with a walker, and after coming to the gym for about 3 weeks, she sold her walker because she didn't need it anymore. It's a reminder that we can all move our bodies at any age.
Legault's daughter says CrossFit is her mom's lifeline.
I'm super proud of her. I have so much respect. Like, so many people just can't get out the door. She's really proud of herself. We're happy for her. She's still living on her own, and she is stubborn. She's going to make it to 100 for sure.
Class members say it's about always thinking, what would Avril do?
She's not afraid of anything, and it's such an inspiration. I hope that I can be even like half of her when I'm her age.
Proud to be the oldest in her class, her favorite song, fittingly, is Staying Alive.
All you have to do is get off the couch and join CrossFit, and you'll feel a lot better.
Oh, and this is her birthday, and this is how she is celebrating age 90. And she has no intention of stopping anytime soon.
I'm just going to continue coming to CrossFit till I'm 100.
For her 90th birthday, the gym owner is giving her a free membership for life. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Let's take a look now at the current traffic situation along Portage Avenue at Polo Park. It looks like that snow isn't driving people away from the streets. It looks like things are moving quite well. If you see any issues out there, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is lower at $1.73. The lowest price in the city is $1.57 on Isabel Street and Salter Street. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. We wanted to know, it being National Gardening Day today, we wanted to know, what's your favorite plant or flower? Craig plants tomatoes from seed. He says it's satisfying to watch them grow and produce fruit. Selena shared red geraniums are my favorite. Orchids for Susan. Pat's favorite plant is a ZZ plant, easy to look after and a unique look. I don't even know if I know what that is. Melanie says, I love the big and full blooms of hydrangeas. Kelly loves hosta plants when they grow large. Hydrangea plants and milkweed. It brings the monarch butterflies to her yard. Barb shared, my favorite plant is red geraniums. They are very hardy and last all season long. Can be used in hanging planters, pots, or flower beds. Connie likes tulips with their bright, beautiful colors. Jackie loves tomatoes. She usually plants about 15 to 20 varieties each year to enjoy and freeze for the winter. Val's favorite is the beautiful trumpeting angels. And a viewer's favorite is mandevilla. Hummingbirds love them. They bloom all summer and come in a variety of colors. They're beautiful. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
McPhail, who's live this morning at the Craft Museum, and we're talking about some beautiful dolls, and they represent 7 different communities. Hello, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. Yes, the 7 different First Nations. Andrea, Danielle, and Richard are joining me once again. And you know what? If you're done gardening today, you can come on into the exhibition and catch it because it's only on for a week and a half, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, we're open Wednesday to Saturday, noon to 4. So this week, and then next week just till Thursday. So hope you can come and see it.
No doubt. And what can they expect to see? Because there's a little bit of old, a little bit of new.
Yeah, so we're highlighting the Molly dolls, but it also is a collaboration between our permanent collection dolls as well as the MCML's dolls as well.
And when it comes to representing all of the different nations, what came back? Because, well, first of all, you had to get them here, but such a diverse group.
So it really was, it worked out to be a real collaboration with the artists, and so it was about talking with the various people that we knew, like so that getting in touch with the makers and some of the people in town who knew who to talk to find the people who could make these dolls, and it could really speak to the various groups and all of the aesthetic qualities of the dolls.
I won't ask you what your favorite is because that's totally not fair. But I will ask, what are some styles that you're kind of attracted to when you look at all these pieces?
As a beadwork artist, I'm always looking at the beadwork. I love seeing the diversity, and I'm sure a lot of folks who come by do too. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them have the earrings going on, but there's some other details that you want people to check out.
Absolutely. Whether it's the materials that are used, whether it's the designs, we hope a lot of folks take inspiration and maybe inspire little artists themselves.
And inspire folks to have a doll that looks just like them. How beautiful is that? One last time, when can people catch this?
It's this week and next, Wednesday to Saturday, noon to 4 p.m., and it closes next Thursday.
Okay. When you're done gardening, come on down to the museum. Okay, see you later, Manitoba.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop. It's not pleasant outside right now.
Not loving it, not gonna lie. The good news is, if there is any for this much snowfall in April, is it's easing slightly. It was kind of coming down in sheets earlier, but it is still decidedly falling. 0 degrees with some light northwesterly winds, pressure falling, humidity at 99%. If I look fed up, it's because I am, yes. This low pressure system, it's likely to taper off later this morning, leaving behind a mix of sun and cloud. So that's the good news. The bad news is it's snowfall, and it's not the last we're likely going to see this week in southern Manitoba. Temperatures, though, rallying at around seasonal. For us here in Winnipeg, that's 10 degrees. Much of southern Manitoba will reach high in the low teens. Meanwhile, the southwest and areas like Brandon and Napowa, you're likely to stay dry with a mix of sun and cloud. Then a separate low pressure system bringing snowfall to the northeast today and rainfall to the northwest. It's likely to dog you for the next couple of days to come. Temperatures are warmer in the northwest, peaking at around 5 degrees, and cooler to the northeast, and that's why you're getting snow instead of rain. As it continues overnight and into tomorrow, for us here in the south, we have a slight chance of some rain tomorrow as our temperatures explode. 18 degrees is what we're looking at in our high. However, it is very short-lived. We're likely plummeting to 0 in Winnipeg by Thursday, and with it, we're likely getting more flurries. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm going to go inside and dry off, but stay with us. We've got so much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A Manitoba senior is singing a new tune thanks to a special friendship, and he's helping make sure others can 90-year-old Walter Dyshun is back on stage with his band Recycled Jammers, a group ranging in age from 61 to 90. And it's all thanks to his 12-year-old rescue dog Mozart, who Walter adopted through Before the Bridge Senior Canine Rescue last December. Besides the instant bond between the pair, Walter discovered he and Mozart share a love of music.
He enjoys it. He lays down anywhere and listens to the music and has a good time.
Mozart joins the band during its Thursday night jams and will be on hand when Walter and the Recycled Jammers host a fundraiser in support of Before the Bridge next month. Raise the Woof is set for May 2nd at Transcona Memorial Church. Money raised will benefit the senior dogs taken in and rehabilitated by the rescue. The Winnipeg Jazz Orchestra is coming off an exciting win, a Juno Award for Jazz Album of the Year last month for their Connections East Meets West album. The big band style orchestra is getting ready for an exciting classic video game music concert, joining and partnering with special guest and YouTube drumming sensation Ben Kidd. The show is called 8-Bit Big Band, and it's happening Thursday. Joining us now, our artistic director of the Winnipeg Jazz Orchestra, Richard Gillis, and influencer and 8-Bit concert curator, Ben Kidd. Good morning, Richard and Ben.
Hi.
Hi, thanks so much for joining us. Now, let's talk about the Juno win, first of all. This was the first time you got nominated, your first win. What does it all mean to you to get this award?
Well, it'll take a while to sink in because, you know, as soon as it happens, I mean, even when it was happening, I was in the middle of another concert, and then you prepare for the next concert, and you prepare for the next season. So there's always something to do. So it'll take a while to sink in. But what it means is recognition that people liked our material, or a certain group of people, you know, the judges. So it was a surprise in that it's just, you know, you don't go about trying to win things when you do these projects. You're just trying to do meaningful projects.
So it just adds an extra element of pride to the team.
Yeah, gratefulness, I think, rather than pride. It's like there's so many people involved, and the key people that make it really work.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. So let's just tell us how you're bringing the sound of big band jazz to classic video games music. How did that idea even start?
Well, we're kind of open. We want to be open to all kinds of projects, and Winnipeg is filled with great musicians, and we could talk about many different projects that we have done or that we're looking towards doing. And Niall came to us with this project. Niall Cade, who's a wonderful tenor saxophone player in town. Okay. And we thought, okay, let's give it a shot. I mean, look at me. I'm not a video gamer. It's not on my radar, but it's my kids' radar. But it just seemed like, okay, well, let's just give this a try. Okay. And he put us in connection with Ben Kidd, who turns out is a wonderful writer. And these arrangements we rehearsed last night, you got to come and hear them.
Okay, well, Ben, let's talk about you, because you're a drumming sensation on YouTube. Tell us about how you even got into this whole thing.
I've been doing YouTube for 10 years now, almost. It'll be in the fall of 10 years. And on YouTube, I have my channel's 8-Bit Music Theory, and I talk about video game music and, you know, break it down. And a few years ago, in 2022, I think, I started to miss, you know, having YouTube be my full-time gig. I started to miss playing and arranging as much as I had done in my younger years. So I decided to marry the two worlds and start a video game cover band playing jazz music, jazz arrangements of video game music.
That's cool.
That's 8-Bit and the Single Players is my band. And so then Niall plays in that band too. We've recorded a couple albums together of video game stuff, and so this was his brainchild to say, hey, would you ever try arranging for big band? Do you think this could work in a big band setting? And I thought, oh yeah, that's a match made in heaven. Big band and video game music, that's two great tastes that go great together.
That's awesome. So this concert, what can people expect on Thursday? What are they gonna hear? What kind of music?
There's gonna be some classics. I wanted to play the hits. There's gonna be some Super Mario Bros.
Nice.
There's gonna be, you know, some Legend of Zelda music. There's going to be some Wii Sports. We're doing a tune for Wii Sports, which is nostalgic for a younger group of people than me. Yeah, and there's going to be lots of, you know, high energy music. It's going to be accessible. It's going to be approachable. The melodies are well known, and and not, you know, super snooty. But then for all the arrangements, I tried to add something interesting too, some sort of musical twist, something for the jazz nerds as well. So whether you're a video game nerd or a jazz nerd,
you're bringing them together.
Oh,
that's
so
great. So do you think it works? What's your opinion? Yeah, what do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, rehearsal last night. These tunes make sense. I mean, for us as musicians, they're satisfying.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to get band to write some other things too.
Okay, so Thursday's the show. Where is it happening, and how do people get their hands on tickets?
Well, at the West End Cultural Center.
Okay.
At 7, I think doors at 7, show at 7:30, and you can get tickets online.
Right, winnipegjazzorchestra.com.
Okay.
And or just show up.
Yeah, just show up and get your hands on some tickets at the door. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, and good luck with the show on Thursday. If you want more information, we have a link on our website.
What a cool event. I feel like I'm in a video game dodging snowflakes out there because, yes, Mother Nature is playing quite the mind game with us with these conditions. A pretty decent helping of snow that is starting to taper off. 0 out there, winds out of the northwest at 8 clicks, pressure falling, humidity sitting at 99%. We are told that the system that's bringing the snowfall is going to taper off for us here in Winnipeg and surrounding areas later on this morning. But areas further to the south of us, as you can see, this low pressure system really hovering around your neck of the woods, so likely it's going to be falling as rainfall throughout the day. For us here, we're going to, I don't want to say surely, but there's a good chance of some sunshine coming our way, more of a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. Temperatures rising to 10 degrees. 11 is what's typical, so we're nearly at a seasonal value for April. Meanwhile, overnight tonight, we'll see a couple clouds lingering, temperatures dipping down to 3. Winds, though, really ramp up out of the southwest at 20 kilometers per hour, and they get even stronger into tomorrow at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. No, your eyes don't deceive you. I didn't make a mistake. Our high tomorrow is 18 degrees. Low chance of showers with a mix of sun and clouds. Otherwise, however, it's pretty short-lived. We're going to take a break, but don't go anywhere.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, before we say goodbye, we're going to show you some fun video. We kick things off with a toddler that clearly likes to play.
Are you a robot man?
This little boy is doing a great impression of a robot, and the Play-Doh cups on his hands really tie the whole look together. He's got it.
He looks like he's like glitching the way he's throwing his head back. It's so cute.
Oh, his cheeks.
He's so sweet.
And sometimes you just need to slow things down and take in the beauty of your surroundings.
Yikes.
Check out this surfer trying to outrun this giant wave. Of course, for all of them, it happened in just moments, but there's something beautiful about capturing it all in slow motion. Absolutely, that's very cool.
Beautiful for us to watch.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to experience
Never. And then, have you ever dreamt about falling into the clouds? This daredevil made it a reality. Oh. Yeah, that's scary. Check this out. This guy rides his bike over the side of a cliff, sending himself into a free fall. Then he deploys his parachute to set up a slow ride back down to the ground.
Not slow enough.
Doesn't look slow to me.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Nope.
No, thank you. That does it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.